converge. From the gridiron strategies to the business behind the ball, we tackle the hard-hitting questions and give you an insider's perspective. So pull up a chair and join us at the table where champions are made and legends are born. This is the Executive's View. Let's get down to business.
Welcome to the Executive's View. I'm your host, Aaron Sirius Simmons, and this is the view from on top, man. You could be anywhere in the world on a Tuesday, but you're here with the Executive. I do appreciate that, man. You guys know how I get started on every show, man. If you see the show, share the show, man. We are all over the place. We on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube. We even got a Spotify channel, man. We're doing big things and looking forward to bringing you guys content on a regular basis, man. You guys know also, I don't do this by myself, man. I got a slew of brothers that are looking forward to chopping it out with you guys. My co-host is in the building, Barry the Villain Jordan. What's going on, my guy? How we doing, sir?
Villain. I need everybody to feel me with no hands. It's been a crazy day, busy day. Rest in peace to the great James Earl Jones. I have to wear my Darth Vader shirt today. Got to do that. But how is everybody doing in the building today? What's going on?
Everybody's good, man. Larry's in the building. What's going on, my guy? How we doing, sir?
Yo, what's the deal, fellas? Man, I'm gonna echo what Barry said, man. Hey, rest in peace to James Earl Jones, man. Not only did we lose I Am Your Father, man, we lost Mustafa, man. We lost
Mustafa.
We lost a lot, man. That dude is
King Jaffe Joffa.
Yeah, King Jaffe Joffa, man. Oh my God. Yeah, man. We lost a lot, but we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it good. It's actually been a big week for a lot of losses, man. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan too.
Yeah, definitely. And we got the homie Brian breaking news. He was back in the building. When that pigskin get kicked off, my man coming back want to talk that ball. Brian, what's going on, my guy? How we doing, sir?
What is up, fellas? You know what? It has been a long time. And it's good to see your bright, shiny faces. It's also good to see Larry in that beautiful, pristine San Francisco 49er hat. I mean, listen, if you got to rock a hat, at least the guy you had come on and replace me. He's doing it right. So
I am not alone anymore, my brother. Welcome back.
My brother from another mother. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
This is the Executive Show, though. I'm definitely looking forward to dicing it up. And I got to tell you, boys, I don't know how closely you watched every game, but I got to tell you, there was several calls, and I'm not talking about on the ref side. Everybody always wants to blame the refs. There were several decisions, we'll say, made by head coaches that were real head scratchers that had major implications in week one. And I hope we have some time to maybe talk about some of those as well.
We're definitely going to have enough time to chop it up, man. But before we even get to the games, I'm not too sure if Steve and Uncle pop in. We'll lay in the cut and wait for them guys to pop in. Hopefully they get in here shortly. But I wanted to kind of just pick up where we left off in the green room, man. You had to have been either not paying attention or under a rock if you haven't been made aware of what's been going on in the state of Florida with Tyreek Hill. There's been a arrest, not so much arrest, but he was detained before Sunday's game. The video footage and the cameras came out. And it's kind of been a mixed bag, to be painfully honest with you. I wanted to give the gentleman here an opportunity to kind of say what they got to say about it. Villain, you kind of kicked this thing off, my guy. Talk to me about how you feel about it. And I'm going to say this now. What we say here represents the Executive's View. We are in no way, shape, or form begrudging anybody. We're not law officials. We are not policemen or police officials. These thoughts and these opinions are those of right here at Executive's View. And if anybody has an issue with it, they're more than welcome to come and talk to us about it. We'll love the dialogue with you. With that being said, Villain, talk to me, my guy. How you feel?
When I first saw it, I was sitting in church and I was like, oh God, is he gonna play? What happened? What did he do? Probably speeding. I don't know what happened. I just got the alert, right? So then I get home and I start hearing about what's happening, and then I finally saw the body cam from the cop, and Larry and I kind of are in lockstep. And I said this too in our chat. I was like, okay, listen. Did he deserve to get forcibly removed out of his car the way he was? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was uncalled for. That was excessive. That was escalating the situation by the officer because he wasn't getting the respect that he deserved as a police officer. So he lost his cool. The fuse was lit, got him out of the car, put him on the ground, all that good stuff. And then his teammate, got handcuffed as well, right? Calais Campbell. I was in the mindset that Tyreek didn't instigate the situation, but he didn't help the situation by rolling up his window and not barking at the cop, but like, just do what you got to do, man. Just do what you got to do. Because here's the deal. They always going to remind you black, wherever you go, wherever you live, wherever you are in this world, they're going to remind you that you black. And as much as we don't like to say it and don't like to talk about it, we are second-class citizens in this country. And they're going to treat us as such, right? So I remember, and I think we talked about this before on other shows, Sirius, I was pulled over when my kids were in the car. My daughter was about 1, maybe 2 years old. My son was a little older. And I was terrified. Not because I did anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Maybe rolled at a stop sign. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm terrified because my kids are in the car and I don't know if I'm going to see my wife again. That's why I was scared. Because I'm a black man and that cop was white. And I don't know, even if I'm calm, hands on the steering wheel, that might be threatening for him. So I say that to say Tyreek Hill wasn't wrong what he did. Was he right? Probably not. But I felt like Tyreek has to understand you're not an athlete. You're not a star athlete at that moment. You are a guy trying to get out of that situation in one piece. And you got to switch your brain, humble yourself a little bit and say, all right, dude, let me just get out of this calmly. Let me just get out of this in one piece, right? But does that give that cop the right to do that? Am I justifying what that cop did? Absolutely not. That cop was in the wrong. That cop is on administrative leave for a reason because he knows what he did was wrong. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny when you're watching the body cam, that other cop, do you know who this is? That's a star player for the Dolphins. Now all of a sudden it matters. Like before that, he was just another, right? That's why I felt like the cops were treated just another N-word. Let's be real. And then they're like, it reminds me to the T. If you guys, and I'll leave it at this. If you guys have watched the Marvel show on Disney Plus, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there's a scene where Sam Wilson, who's the Falcon, was about to be detained by cops because he was having an argument with the Winter Soldier in the middle of the street. And they're like, can you show me here? Like, I'm just standing here talking to my friend. That's all I'm doing. And then they're like, do you know who this is? That's the winner. That's the Falcon. That's Sam Wilson. Well, we're sorry, Mr. Wilson. Like, does it make a difference now that I'm famous? Like, before I was just another, that you were about to, who knows what you were going to do with me? Who knows? If the body cam wasn't on, it probably would have been worse. So the cops were wrong. Drew Rosenhaus, like his agent is calling for their jobs and all this stuff. I get it, but it's just an ugly look, and it's just another black guy in this country, and it sucks to be a minority in this country.
So here's my take on it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and Larry, I'll come to you here in a minute, sir. This is why we marched. This is why Colin Kaepernick nailed. This is why we have a movement. This is why several families are missing loved ones at gatherings, because we have, unfortunately, a bad situation in our country where cops can do God knows what, and then get paid administrative leave. To your story, villain, you were pulled over for running a stop sign or rolling a stop sign or whatever the case may be, and you were fearful and actually thought that you may not make it home. That's a problem. That's a problem. Tyreek Hill said this in his post game. He goes, "What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill?" We had just a few weeks ago a woman called the cops because she felt an intruder was going to break into her home. Cops showed up, and she's dead. This is what we're dealing with right now. So when cops get put on an administrative leave, when cops go through, this whole song and dance, I give very little to no sympathy to them. Like, should he have just complied? I'm not even sure what that means. In all honesty, non-compliance does not justification to forcibly detain or take a life. Period. Under no circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm going to say this now. Not every cop is bad. Not every cop is dirty. This, that, and the third. I've been very fortunate enough to have been pulled over by several cops, and here I am sitting today. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not nervous about the situation. This is what we live in. And so I agree with Drew Rosenhaus that those officers should be off the force. If that's how you felt, regardless of whether Tyreek Hill rolled his window down halfway, rolled it down all the way, stuck his finger out, told you to go F yourself, whatever the case may be, you do not take that type of action unless it's warranted. Their lives weren't in danger. Another story, and I get off it. I got pulled over for a bad license plate. My license was suspended. I was driving my friend's car. My friend shows up. My officer asks my friend, "Is this your car?" He goes, "Yes." His license suspended. My friend didn't know that. The officer put his hand on his weapon. And my friend was like, yo. I didn't know. This is what we're dealing with. And so I refuse to subscribe to this idea that, again, he should have just complied. I said this in the chat. This is no different from shut up and dribble to me. This is no different to me. Because at some point, when is it going to be enough? Colin Kaepernick is blackballed from playing football right now because he took a knee. We have a movement across the nation because of this nonsense. Enough's enough. Larry, talk to me, my man. How you feel?
Man, y'all got to give me a minute, bro, because you know what I'm going to say? If you know me, anybody that knows me, when it comes to like crooked cops and, corrupt cops and all that stuff like that, I'm like Eazy-E, Ice Cube, and Colin Kaepernick all rolled into one, right? But, and like I said, they use excessive force. They did. Did they have to, do all of that, doing the most, 4-5 cops pull up, all of that stuff? But I also take because I've worked in law enforcement. You, Aaron, you're in the same predicament that I've been in, right? And I take the position of this, right? You got to remove the personal aspect of the Tyreek Hill situation. Kind of like your dad says, you got to look at the game tape. If you look at the tape, Tyreek Hill, he exacerbated the situation. And I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but Tyreek was being a dickhead. I'm just being real. He was being a real, true dickhead. That cop asked him 3 times. He said, "Can you roll the window down?" He said, "Why are you knocking on my window?" He said, "Stop." He literally kept saying, when the cop was trying to just have a conversation with him, "Stop knocking on my window. Stop beating on my window. Stop beating on my window." And the guy was literally trying to have a conversation with him and telling him and explaining to him why. Now, and I get the specifics of it, and people are real emotional about crooked cops, right? So let me share you guys, and if y'all know, I'm in Houston, and Houston, Texas, period, have some of the most notorious crooked cops you can imagine, right? I had a situation. I'm at work, and at that time, I had to wear a certain tie to work, and I'm minding my business. Cop directing traffic asked me to go through the light. I went through the light just like the other car in front of me, but the car in front of me didn't look like me. He pulled me over. He asked me for my information. He was cussing and yelling and everything else with me. I maintained my calm the whole time, just like I'm talking to y'all right now. I told him, I said, dude, you know, if you want to go back, we can pull the red light camera. We can pull your body cam. We can pull your car cam, whatever. I said, matter of fact, call your supervisor right now, and we can review the film together, and they're going to see that I've been totally cooperative, and I've been following every directive that you've given me. He didn't ask me to get out the car or anything like that. I felt like it was nothing that was egregious to where I felt like I was in harm or anything like that. So I maintained my calm. And, you know, at the end of the day, he just told me to go about my business, right? And this is why I say, you know, things with the Tyreek Hill situation, right? Also, if you know me, I've ride behind 5% tint. I ride, you can't even see in my car, right? And I'm coming home one night. I ain't, you know, everybody knows when a headlight is out, you can't tell. You can't tell unless you're starting your car up at night, or if somebody tells you that your headlight is out or something, you see it at the gas station. I get pulled over, and the cop, I'm not even gonna lie, the cop was not like me. The cop was a white cop. He pulled me over. He asked me to roll my windows down, and he asked me to even roll my back window down. But you know what he told me as well? He said, I'm asking you to roll your windows down because I cannot see in your car, and it's for your protection and my protection, so I can see what you're doing, and I can know what you're doing. And I had no problem with it. I ended up not even getting a ticket because I explained to him that, hey, I didn't know the headlight was out, and he told me to go about my business. Anybody that's in a right mind knows that if there's a situation and you're yelling at me and I'm yelling at you, you maintain your calm. And that's why I don't agree with the cops. They should have maintained their calm, even though he was getting belligerent. But I'm not gonna totally absolve Tyreek Hill. And people are actually justifying it and saying it's okay to talk to cops and talk to people. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and we all know that. And this is where I'm gonna go with this. You pull up to McDonald's right now and you cuss them people out. You know what you're gonna get? A spit mix sandwich. You're gonna get. You go to somebody else's job and you getting crunk with them and you yelling and screaming at them. You know what you're gonna get. So don't be surprised when you seeing this gooey white substance on your burger. You know what it is. And I get it. People feel like cops should have that resolve, but we all humans. And when I watched the actual, I'm gonna say the game tape, Tyreek was being a dickhead. He the one who made the situation get to that point. And at that point, they the professionals. They should step in and they should have been like, hey, look, let's figure this out. Let's get it situated. The second cop is the one who really sparked it up even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But from somebody who's been in that position and all the guy asked you to do was roll down your window, you could have complied. But like we said in the green room, most athletes, they don't like nobody telling them nothing to do. And I don't want to talk about people from other networks, but Shannon Sharpe hit it on the head. He was pissed because he was running late, but you broke the law. You was speeding. And I've had friends who I've told them a million times, look, you're gonna have times where cops pull you over for no reason. But if your sticker's out, you're giving them a reason. If you're speeding, you're giving them a reason. If you're without insurance because they can run your license plate in Texas, you're giving them a reason. Tyreek, you were speeding because you were late. You gave them the reason, and then you got mad with them because you were late to the game and you were speeding and you got caught. So I'm not taking either side, but I'm just looking at it from the totality of everything. We all three agreed 2 wrongs do not make a right. And I'm not gonna call for these guys' job at this point. I'm gonna say maybe they need additional training, take a little suspension. If it happens again, then yeah, they need their job. But you calling for people's job when this dude literally cussed these people out, got belligerent with them. When I first heard about it, he was, and this is where I'm even going. I know I'm going on, y'all. He played the victim. He played the victim. He actually was on the interview. Oh, well, they were doing this. You didn't even mention the fact that you were cussing these dudes out and you were getting crazy with them. You didn't mention that. You were playing the victim after you were being an asshole. Like, dude, you could have just came out and said, yeah, I was being an asshole and they took it too far. You could have said that, but no, you were playing the victim in this role, and you are equally responsible, just like they are. So yeah, you can. I'm not gonna go there like everybody else is doing when it comes to that. And Aaron, I'm right with you. Yeah, we could do Black Lives Matter. If this was a Sandra Bland where he complied all the way and they pulled out the car and did all this other stuff to it, hey, I'm riding the die with Tyreek. But that wasn't the case, and people are trying to get it conflicted and putting the two together. It's not the same. It's not the same to me.
Because one thing.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna respond to that, but I want to let Brian talk real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, why you let the white guy go last, man? Like, you guys
Because
all bad. Yeah, you know
guys.
what? You know what? The black people were all wrong. That's all there was to it. No, I'm just playing. Listen, we have a natural progression from the top corner where Barry's like, off with their heads to all the way down to the bottom where Larry's like the more. So I felt inclined to continue that trend. No, you know what, man? Larry stole my thunder. I think Larry is spot on here. You know what? I've worked security. I've worked armed security. I've worked law enforcement. Done the PCA 32 training. I mean, I've worked with law enforcement closely, and I could go through and I could point out fatal flaws that both sides made. Right? Knocking on the window, I can understand to an extent, right? Because we're not talking about, mom's 1984 Honda Accord. But at the same time, as Larry mentioned, hey, the windows are tinted. I want to see what you're doing. How do I know you ain't pulling out a gun right now and about to shoot myself and my constituents? The part that I start having a little bit more of a problem with the cops is the point in which they took him out and moving forward. There's 7 or 8 of them. Like, you need that for a traffic stop, number one. Number two, like, I know it's standard procedure, but let's just be honest, Larry, you know this, Aaron, you know this. It's never a good look when you have someone on the ground and you got your knee in their back, like on top of them. Like, is that really necessary? Like, is that something that they're really, teaching? You got 9 guys, I'm exaggerating now, but let's say 6 cops. You really think in handcuffs that he is going to all of a sudden, wiggle around and try and squirm and get out of that situation? I feel like there was an excess of force, but I think Larry was right in the sense that it probably doesn't get there if the agitation in the beginning didn't happen, right? If Tyreek is cordial in the beginning, then maybe the cops are. But I will say this, and this is the one thing where I may differ a little bit from Larry. Police officers are public servants. They work for the government and they work for us. Plain and simple. Tyreek doesn't. He's a private citizen. He may be an asshole, but he's entitled to be an asshole. The cops cannot be. You're a public representation of the government and the people. And even when people are being rude and crude to you, you still have a certain level of professionalism that you must withhold. I feel like they lacked in that area. They took a situation.
This is where I'm going to say. So the first cop, he actually was. It was the second cop who came in and grabbed the door and pulled it up.
Totally,
so it's kind of like.
Totally agree.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you get into an argument, like Barry said, you get into an argument with my friend, and now one person is involved, and now another person come in, and they don't even get the full story, and they exaggerate. They make the situation worse, and I think that's what happened.
Yeah, 1,000%. I totally agree with you. If the one cop is there by himself, we're not talking about this today, right? Because the first cop, I agree with you 100%. He handled it very professionally, very ethically, even in the face of, kind of getting, some backlash, if you will, as far as attitude and things like that. But the bottom line is is, like I said, you have 6, 7 cops. You pull a man from his car. It doesn't matter if he's black, white, green, yellow, purple. We all deserve the same treatment under the law, and they roughed him up. I mean, there's no way to say that once they opened the car door from that point forward, as Larry said, once, let's just say, officer number 2 got involved, there's no way to say that didn't go south, right? Like, I think anybody reviewing that would go, you know what? I wish things went a little differently here. And to Larry's point, the one last thing I want to bring up is I would even say that on the Tyreek side. Like, if I'm part of the team, if I'm part of the PR staff, I'm saying, hey, listen, you know what? Moving forward, I don't give a shit if you're 20 minutes late to the facility. I don't want that PR nightmare again, because if this happens again, people might not be saying, hey, what a bad cop. Why does Tyreek keep getting into these situations? Remember, you're a representation of a Miami Dolphin. We're paying you millions of dollars every year. So the same way the cops are a public servant for, the city, Tyreek is a representation of the team. And you know what, fans, whether people want to believe it or not, there are lots of fans out there, kids, women, children, us adults, that look up to and want to emulate these pro athletes. And I think they're in a platform to be able to do better. They should do that. He definitely handled that situation wrong, but I also agree that the cops, well, probably particularly one cop, but they handled it wrong too. And unfortunately, 2 negatives don't equal a positive in this situation. I think you're going to probably see at least one person lose their job over this, just because of how high profile it is. But the reality is there was definitely some egging going on, and there was definitely, in my opinion, there was probably some excessive force used. You're dealing with an infraction. We're talking about a traffic citation. Having to pull a man from his car and put your knee in his back and have him on the ground. It's probably excessive. At the very least, you could have taken him out of the car and just had him lean up against the car. I mean, it was excessive in my opinion. I'll just leave it there.
Hey, Barry, I want to chime in real quick, Barry, and I'm gonna say this because I agree with you. So if you're Tyreek Hill and you're late, first of all, you're a superstar. Nobody's gonna be fussing at you, or nobody's gonna reprimand you because you're a superstar. But if you're one of the faces of the team, wouldn't you handle that in a more dignified way, to where you don't cause the distraction, where you don't become, in the news and all this other stuff? Because the video is going to come out. The video is going to come out. And like I said, if you look at the video, he's not totally innocent either. They went above and beyond. And I'm gonna go even further. Do y'all know Tyreek's history? That's even more of a reason why you should not want this attention. It's a reason why he fell to the 4th or 5th round. And I don't know if everybody on the show is aware of it, but he did some really, really bad stuff. So you really would be a little bit more cognitive of being around the cops. So I'm not going to totally resolve him. They went too far, and yeah, Barry, you was right. They could have got him out and just said, "Hey, keep your hands on the hood or on the back or something like that." Or he could have just said, "Hey, this is a $350,000 car. I don't want to roll my windows down. Is it okay if I just get out?" Or something like. He talking about his excuse was he didn't want nobody to see him. It's oncoming traffic. Ain't nobody looking at you, bro. Ain't nobody looking at you. Like, the only people that knew he was him was his teammates. Everybody else rolled by, and they only stopped because they saw them stopping. That was it. That could have been easily handled a whole nother different way.
Yes, to answer your question, Villain.
Yeah.
Because that's Villain. Look, hey, we on the executive view, so we'll just put it out there.
I didn't want to say it if it wasn't true. So
no, it's true. He was charged. He was charged.
Right.
He beat his pregnant baby mama.
Yeah, my memory doesn't serve me correctly, but yes, that doesn't make it right for him to get pulled out of a car.
No, it doesn't. Right? It doesn't resolve.
But you're right. He has a history. Blah blah blah.
So
but
you don't want that negative.
Right. Here's what I wanted to say. Here's what I want to say, and then Sears, I know you want to get in on this too. So you said earlier, it wasn't it wasn't a situation. It wasn't a thing, right, for the cops, right? Something to that effect, because everybody talked and everything. Like, this is my problem with the tints and all that, with the window up. When you look at the camera, you see him in the car as a shadowy figure and then kind of reaching around, right? So as a cop, I can't see into your window because it's such a dark tint. The situation didn't get escalated, but if you're a cop and you see somebody digging around, you can't really see what they're digging for. That can escalate the situation, right? Like, you could think they're reaching for a gun. You don't know. That's why you're asking him to put the window down. So that's, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a situation that needed to get escalated, but as a cop, you got to understand. This is what people don't understand. Cops are just as afraid of you as we are of them. And if you yes, they are. Yes, they are. From that standpoint, right? They don't know what you have in your car. They don't know if you're freaking crazy. They don't know if you got a gun. Like, they don't know, right? So they're just afraid for their life as we are of ours when we get pulled over by a cop, right? From that standpoint, like, you could agree with me or disagree. I don't really give a damn, but they don't know what you have in your car. So Tyreek could have just chilled, right? I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's absolutely wrong, but make the situation easier. Put your window down so they can see you and call it a day. But like I said, that cop number 2, we'll call him, dude, is it that serious? And, like, if it wasn't on body cam, you know it would have been worse. Like,
listen, bro, if this right here, this circle is the blame pie, both law enforcement and Tyreek have a portion of this. I think we can all agree on that. No matter how big you want to make the slice or how small you want to make the slice, as Larry has mentioned, I think it's important to understand. Listen, I'm not saying there's not some bad apples out there, and that's for every race, religion, job, creed, whatever you want to say. There's always going to be a few bad apples, but you have to understand that when you start getting anxious and aggravated and you're not complying with directives during a traffic stop, you're being detained, like, you're escalating. Whether you mean to or not, you're escalating the situation. Now, what I contend is, I always find it ironic, regardless of who gets pulled over, right? Like, because I don't think this is just a black thing or a Hispanic thing or a white thing. Like, I always find it ironic when somebody gets pulled over, right? Like, my taillight's out. Like, why does 3 cops got to pull me over, right? Like, why 3 cops pulling me over for a taillight? But as Larry's mentioned, if I'm running your plates and it's registered to you and I see assault and battery, right? And I see excessive speed, right? Like, I forget what they call it, but when you're going over 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, it's called like reckless driving, right? I start seeing these charges, I'm going to go, whoa, you know what? Maybe it's not good to prejudge, but you know what? They have a quick snapshot to look at the info they need to look at and make a determination. And when they start walking up to the car, I mean, we're all human. They're going to have some preconceived notion about how this might go. It's really, and I'm not putting the onus on him. It's like I said, I told you, I think it's 50-50, to be honest. But there might be a preconceived notion, but if they walk up, he's got his hands out and he's like, hey, how can I help you, officer? It's going to immediately de-escalate. Like, he escalated the situation. He didn't necessarily do himself any favors, but like I said earlier, I feel like they took it too far because, like you said, if it wasn't Tyreek, what does it then look like? But, like, ripping the man from his car, having your knee in his back, like I said, I still go back to the fact that you may not like the fact that he's not complying, but ultimately it's still a traffic infraction. It's not, he didn't commit a criminal offense. You're not investigating a crime. Like, sometimes these guys get a little too carried away, right, with the whole, getting caught up in the process. And I think that that's kind of what happened here. Like, I feel like Cop 2 just said, all right, you know what, this is taking too long. Like, let's we're going to handle it, kind of situation. And it rather than de-escalating, which is really what they're taught to do, he escalated the situation further than it was. And to be honest with you, if they were kind of quote unquote thugs, right? Cleus Campbell's like what, 6'8", 390? Like, you really like that's the carload of people you want to like escalate? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I sometimes do wonder, like, like I said, there's blame on both sides, but I do wonder, like, you see cars passing by, like, why are you trying to escalate that, like, right here, like on a main street? Like, something breaks off, somebody gets pushed into the street or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been better judgment used on both sides, but particularly on the cop side, it should have been de-escalate. Because like I said, ultimately, when it's all said and done, Tyreek is a private citizen. People may not like that, but he has the right to say, hey, I think you're an asshole. You're a jerk. You're this, that. The cop is the one that is paid to act a certain way and be a symbol of the community and of the city, and is the one that's paid to act professional. And I feel like they kind of lack some of that professionality.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that being an asshole meaning you don't get your civil liberties. Like, I'm not gonna say you violate the man for being an asshole. And when I kind of, like I say, when I kind of just looked at it, and not from a biased standpoint, I looked at it like, Tariq, you could have been an asshole and complied. You could cuss the cop out as much as you want and left the window down and just cussed him out from in the car. And I don't think it would have got to that point. Now, I will say this: those second cops that came about, I'm not sure what their background and their training was, but they handled him like they were like part of this. You know how you what is it? The ones in LA that Ice Cube used to fuss about, the gang force that you pull up on people and
gang task force.
Yeah, that's what they act like, and they violated him. I hate to say it like that. They violated him, and like you say, for a simple traffic ticket. Now, was he an asshole? I hate to say it like that. Could he have possibly gotten out of ticket because he's freaking Tariq Hill? He could have possibly got out of ticket. They could have let him go with a warning, but he was being an asshole. But that does not mean that he deserved to be, pulled out and knee on his back. I'm not a fan of, all of these, rough tactics like Barry, you in New York, that chokehold. They got rid of it. I'm not a fan of, using excessive force for those type of things. And if it comes to, when you get down to the nitty gritty stuff, and if it's the excessive force, and they fired the cops that did use the excessive force, fire them. But you have to look at the totality of it. And like I said, that first cop, he did, and he asked him like 4 times. He said, just roll down the window. He said, roll down the window. Tariq was so mad. And this is like I said, I looked at it like game film. Tariq was so mad. If you notice, when that guy was asking him about rolling down the window, all Tariq was, you ever had a woman mad at you? And they not listening to nothing that you say, and you could probably be apologizing, and they don't care about nothing you saying. That's what Tariq was doing, because he kept saying, "Quit banging on my window, quit banging on my window, quit banging on my window, quit bang," and the cop was literally just trying to talk to him. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Barry. I mean, it's a 50-50 part of the pie, but they are the professionals. And they're going to take more of the blame for everything and more of the heat for it. And because now they're making it into this whole PR thing, they're calling for their jobs. His agent is calling for their job. And I'll be honest with you guys, and we all know the Dolphins and Drew Rosen, they're probably way more connected, and somebody's going to fall from this. But I'm going to close out my statement with this. The police need to be trained, and they need to be able to handle these situations better. But Tariq needs to issue a statement out, because people, regular citizens, are going to say, it's okay for me to do that because Tariq did it. And it's going to probably, not turn out the same situation, especially if you're behind tent and you're like, oh, Tariq didn't roll his window up, so I'll do it too. And as you being a public figure, you need to come out and take some ownership of that too. And you need to address that and say, hey, I could have handled this in a better situation, and this is what you should typically do in that situation, and handle it better. because we all know we all live in a world where everybody emulates everybody else, and they feel like, well, you know, Tariq did, and I can do it too, and that's not the case. And I'll echo this, Barry. I have friends that are of all nationalities, and every last one of us that ride behind tent, we all have been pulled over. I literally have a friend, and he's not even black, and he literally sold his car because he got tired of being pulled over because they couldn't even see in his car.
But he wasn't detained.
Well, he had to roll his windows down, and he rolled his windows down, and
Like,
he got rid of the car.
We're missing the whole point. But at this point of the discussion on tonight,
Yeah, there's a cause and effect to everything, bro.
I don't feel as though I'll say it like this. This is why I love what we do here. Because at the end of the day, you can have your position and your opinion, another person can have their position and their opinion, but I can still have a drink with either one of you guys. I do not care if Tyreek Hill was a jerk. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. As Brian said, these law officers are supposed to be trained on de-escalating the situation. Based off the body cam that we all saw, that did not happen. Now, Tyreek Hill does need to come out and say, I was a jerk. He didn't say that. He should not have played the victim there. No, especially with the understanding that the camera and the footage would come out. I do agree with the fact that at some point athletes, feel as though they're above the law and they're jerks, which is why we have so many athletes in trouble. With the law, during season or off season. But if it walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a damn chicken. Right? It's a damn duck. Like,
is there any way I can get everybody to put their fist up and we can say back to blue? You guys want to do that? No? It's not going to happen?
We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
Hey, Barry,
Next episode.
Right.
I will say this though, man. Tariq, man, everybody knows for every action there's a reaction, right? You can't go and punch somebody in the face and expect them not to punch you back, right? But at the same time, and I'm not saying that they would have did it, man, you freaking Tyreek Hill, bro. Okay, the cop pulled me over. Hey, bro, you want me to autograph this ticket for you? Hey, bro, you want me to lease a couple of game tickets at the gate for you? Because I'm quite sure he probably get 50 million tickets for free. Of course, they would have to deny it because it's a bribe. But dude, you freaking Hill, bro. Like, dude, like I'll put it like this, and I'm put in the same situation, right? If Michael Jordan got pulled over, how many cops are going to let Michael Jordan off with a freaking warning? A freaking warning.
I would.
Yeah, I'm just being for real. Because he was only speeding just a little bit over.
Horace Grant, I'm taking that motherfucker to jail.
Bro, I'm just dude. I mean, I'm just
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen can go because he messed up.
He missed way too many open shots. Coach Paxson, they're all going to jail, man.
Scottie can go too. Scottie can go too.
Yeah,
Number two.
And I'm just saying, man, like, dude, like you Tyreek Hill, man, like, dude, like, how many times have we seen, somebody be like, oh, I'm keeping a ticket because Tyreek Hill autographed it. Like, dude, you freaking Tyreek Hill, bro.
It shouldn't have to come to that, and that's the thing that I'm frustrated with. Like, I mean, yeah, Tyreek Hill could have signed it, he could have flipped it on its ear, whatever the case may be. But if it wasn't Tyreek Hill, then who?
Dude, I signed my tickets like a doctor.
I'm sure you do. But, I'm sure you do. But and I think that's the thing that keeps sticking with me. Like, we are all hung up on the fact that it was Tyreek Hill, and that's cool.
Nah, blame
but if right, I mean, I got you. But if it was Barry the Villain Jordan right there, is he still here talking to me right now?
Let me ask you a serious. Let me ask you a serious question though, because this is really the question. This is really the question, Barry. cop pulls you over and asks you to roll your window down. Do you comply?
Absolutely.
Then he's here. I mean, listen, I know as the white guy on the show, it's kind of a bad take for me to have. Listen, I think Larry's point is valid. I'm not saying, like I told you guys, I think the cops, if it's a blame pie, we're over 50%. But the difference is if Barry's complying, and like you guys said about the previous case, if Barry's complying and there's still an issue, now we got a problem, right? But if he's complying, hey, look, here's my hands. You know, I'm not digging around. I'm not cussing at you. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speed or whatnot. You know, that's my take. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I believe in the goodness of people, regardless of, you know, race, creed, nationality, sex, that pulls you over. Like Larry said, they're trying to get home to folks at the end of the day, just like we all are. And I think if you make that process easier, they're going to make that process easier as well. If you want to make things difficult, right, if you want to have a pissing contest, it's probably going to get ugly at some point. It is. And you know what? As I've already stated, I'm not saying it's right, but at some point, if a cop's asking you to comply with certain orders and you're saying no, or no, I'm not going to do that, like at what point do you think they're just going to say okay and go back to their car? Like at some point, if you're not complying with the whatever the directive is, like you're asking for trouble, and that doesn't matter who you are. Like there's things that we can all do to make situations go easier, and there's things that we can all do to go make situations more difficult. And I didn't mean to jump on you, serious, like on your comment.
No.
I totally think, like I said, Officer 2, I'm gonna tell you right now, somebody is getting fired over this, and I'm saying it's Officer 2. Because heads are going to roll. He was the one that was aggressive. He was the one that was forceful. He was the one that didn't de-escalate the situation. He actually he raised up that tension, right? And so I think if anybody not needs new training, but if anybody loses their job, it should be him. Now, the bottom line is we all as grown adults understand that, you know, like Larry said, hey, if I do X, then Y is going to happen. So we all have to understand, if I'm driving 130 mile an hour on the you know, the freeway, and I get pulled over, there's a good chance, like, I'm not even getting a ticket. My ass is going to jail. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to understand, like, I know we don't know the whole story and all that, but like I said, I just want to give a snapshot here because I've already said I think the cops are probably more wrong in this situation. But as Larry mentioned, you know, some of the background, some of the history, all that kind of stuff is also important. You know, because you get a quick snapshot, you have to make a decision on what are the potential threats as you're approaching the car. And then all of a sudden the person is non-compliant and rolling their window up. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. What I'm saying is he didn't do himself any favors.
Yeah, because my thing is this: you asked me if the cop asked me to roll my window down, I roll my window down. Here's the deal: when I got pulled over, and when I do get pulled over, the first thing I'm doing is putting my window down. When the cop comes to my door, I was like, "Can you put your camera on, please? Is it on? Yes. What's your name? What's your badge number? Yes, great. My hands are going on the steering wheel so that you feel comfortable. My wallet and my registration are right here on the dashboard. If you need anything else, please let me know. I will comply." That's how I'm fucking addressing the situation. Not telling the cop, "No, you'll do what you got to do," and they're rolling my window up because I don't want to be in this situation. I'm busy. I'm late for work. That's just not helpful, man. That's just not smart. So that's just me. Call me a punk. I don't care.
If you walk in McDonald's and they say,
"Call me a punk,"
if you walk in McDonald's and they say, "Welcome to McDonald's," and you like, "Fuck you, my burger messed up. This ain't right." Oh,
get my burger fixed.
Here, sir. Enjoy your McHair sandwich.
Yes. I mean, you know, and this is what I'm gonna say, and I'll go there, right? Those cops, they need. The cops that don't get fired, they need further training. They need to be educated, and they need to be on like some like final notice. Look, you do this again, or if something else come up, you fired, right? But like I said, Tariq needs to come out and address his bullshit. But at the same time, and like I said, you know, it is a cause and an effect for everything, right? And if this may be the one thing, and then next thing you know, next week Tariq may be in something else. And we all seen this a million times where you're a celebrity, you're a superstar athlete, and nobody's holding you accountable for shit. And where does that lead to? You know, with the Ray Rice thing, Ray Rice, that guy was just taking a picture of him and he punched him. Probably because nobody's never hold it. Rasheed Rice. Nobody probably never held him accountable for stuff like that, and he could just feel like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna punch people. Like I feel like, man, when the tape came out, I looked at it the same way, like the incident with Joe Mixon. That girl spit in his face. So do you expect you're gonna get punched? Yes, expect to be punched. I looked at it just like the Kareem Hunt incident. She slapped him before he knocked her ass out. So there's always a cause and an effect for everything. And when the tape comes out, I looked at it like the cause was him being an asshole. Did that warrant him being, caught out the car and all this other stuff? But it was an effect of him being an asshole and not complying.
So to your point, we're all fathers here, right? Right, and I'm not sure how you all deal with your children, but see, in my household, we does the punishment fit the crime? If my son, punches his little sister, well, maybe not, but if my son goes up and takes a cookie, when I told him not to get a cookie, I'm not grounding him for 6 freaking months. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. But if he goes up and hits his mom and does a bunch of other stuff, then we escalate.
What if he took his jersey off, threw it in the fireplace, and told you that he wanted to be a Ravens fan?
Oh, he died immediately.
See, look at
he died.
Does that match? He's a cop.
That punishment.
Sirius is a cop. No.
That punishment fit the crime. That punishment fit the crime.
Hey, Aaron, can I get serious with y'all right quick? Can I get serious? So since we on this conversation, right? Can I get serious with y'all right quick? So Shannon Sharp, he hit home with me this morning, right? And Shannon Sharp said, because we talking about being fathers, Shannon Sharp said when he first started driving, his dad told him, if you get pulled over, you comply, you do what they ask you to do. You don't get belligerent with them, right? They actually, you show them your driver's license, your registration, whatever, right? Love my mama. Dude, matter of fact, my mama just had a birthday.
Happy birthday, mama.
Happy birthday, mama.
Happy birthday. I took care of her good. So when I first started driving, we're from a small town called Beaumont, Texas. Right next to Beaumont, Texas, I don't know if you guys have heard of it before, but there's a known KKK city called Vidor. And when I first got my driver's license, you know what my mama told me? She said, if you're driving through Vidor, you don't speed, you don't get gas. If you have a flat, you drive to Beaumont on that flat. So, Tyreek Hill, nobody has ever told you if you're getting pulled over by the cops, if you're out and about and you're somewhere and the cops ask you to do something, if I'll even go even further, if security officers, because people feel like security officers, you can do whatever you want to do, and that's not the case. If a security officer asks you, hey, can you go this way, or hey, you're not allowed in this area, or something like that, nobody's never told him you comply. And I'm not saying they violating your civil rights. I'm just saying they asking you your everyday common comply things. Nobody's never told him you just comply. And that's where I have a problem at.
It's a lot, and to be honest with you, I mean, everybody sitting here has made valid points. I I lean more to one side than the other, but at the end of the day, I do feel as though something needs to happen. Because once again, there may not be a next time for somebody else. And we, as a nation, as I alluded to when I opened, as a nation, have a horrible problem with this right here. And so I'm going to leave it there. We got a lot of football to get into, both college and NFL. And I'm gonna leave it there, man. Great discussion by all. I hope if you're listening and watching, you learn some things. With that being
said, don't do what Tyreek Hill did. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Jeez. With that being said, I wanted to, before we start talking college football real quick, I don't know why I'm gonna do this to myself, but I need to go over what took place last week in our confidence poll. Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about, or how Penn State squeaked by? No, never mind.
I mean, here's the funny thing: we covered. So shut your face.
Covered what?
Hey,
the spread?
Yeah, we did. At least I thought we did. Did I pick it?
It was like 30.
No, we didn't even cover. Whatever, dog.
My
Larry,
math ain't mathing on this, right?
Larry, unfortunately, you had a rough week, brother. You went 0 for 5.
Man, I was shooting from the parking lot, man.
He was shooting. The homie Steve got one right. So what?
But my boys, these state pick. Oh my God! I almost pulled that one off. I was so.
You did. Steve, Coach only got one right. Villain, you got 2 right, and I got 1 right. Looking at the statistics from
Villain one.
So essentially, you got you got 7 points. I got 4 points. Coach got 5 points. Larry, you got a donut. So with that being said, Larry was
being real. So basically, what you're saying is it's going to be really easy for me to catch up.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
Wait.
Kind of small.
Hold up.
We'll do week for you, but you ain't winning the whole pot. So.
Barry co-sign on me. Aaron was being real safe. We were playing it real loosey-goosey a little bit.
Aaron was
being real safe.
Hey, yo. First and foremost, I don't know how I was playing it safe. I got 1 right out of 5.
But you was playing it safe and you got 1
right. I mean, if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take Louisville versus Jacksonville State. Like, that's when you're like, all right, come on, man. You can't take the 40 point favorite.
You know what it was like for me? Like my pick, Boston College and Georgia Tech. I picked Georgia Tech -3. That's what killed me, because I don't know if you guys watched that game, but Syracuse looked pretty good. I was actually impressed with how well they played. I didn't know if they had it in them, if they were, not saying they're all the way back, but at least they could, show up to a game of that magnitude and perform, and they did. So Georgia Tech, they are who we thought they are, I guess. I don't know what you want to say. Like they look good. They look good.
They beat y'all, and then all of a sudden came out the next week and laid an egg. But
that was 2 weeks ago. So I mean, like
Syracuse has been looking good. That freshman quarterback, he's been looking real good too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I wanted to give props to, because Syracuse is looking much better. Iowa State, man.
That was a 1 point game.
It's always going to be close. It's always going to be close. God,
it was a blowout, and I was covering.
Yeah, everybody was covering. Yeah, everybody was covering.
That's insane. So,
and you know what it was? Coach basically came in and said, 40 points. Iowa scored 40 points, and I think he jinxed it for everybody, because Iowa's going to Iowa on offense, right?
Well, Coach said that this was going to be one of those weeks where it's going to be like 13-17, some off the wall joint like that, you know what I'm saying? Because Iowa scored 40 points week 1, and so all of a sudden they used up all their offense for the year in one game, because I don't think they scored 40 points a season. You know what I'm saying? But
it was Kirk Ferentz. I watched that game. They was up 20-3, and Kirk Ferentz went back into his old, I'm gonna play conservative. I'm gonna try to run the ball and grind the game out, instead of him just adding to the lead. They should have just kept playing the way they played the first half. They got real safe and real conservative, and they ended up costing them the game.
So we'll go ahead and get started with it. Larry, I'm gonna let you bat lead off here. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you catch yourself up.
Now come back to me. I'm shooting layups this week. Come back to me because I'm shooting layups. All layups.
You shoot layups. Well, take you a layup then. Take you a layup, dude. What's your 5-point play?
Nah, come back to me. I gotta look right quick, but I'm shooting dunks.
No, like we should talk about the games. Let's talk about the games that we saw, like what we liked, what we didn't like.
All right, fine. Well, I mean, we can do that too, man. Villain. All right, so what'd you see, Doug?
Texas is here. Texas is here, and I think Michigan doesn't have a quarterback. I think that's one problem. Warren is not it. But you know, I hate trying to say people's names. I always get over Ears or whatever his name is, right? The quarterback. Ears, right? He's legit. He is literally a top 5 pick. If the season ended right now, the draft is
and he might be the second best quarterback on his team.
Yeah, but I mean, in New York, we're already thinking about the draft, right? So,
as you should.
It's week 1. You damn right you are.
Well, I think I sent the message around already. Week 1, the Giants are already eliminated from the playoffs. Texas looks really good. They got some athletes. I don't know about Alabama. Alabama bothered me a little bit over the week, right? Michigan in general, going back to that game though, their defense got pushed around. They couldn't score. The quarterback could not hit open receivers. So Michigan, it's going to be a little bit of a down year, probably a 3-4 loss season. Texas looks really good. On the road, handle business. That was really interesting to see. It surprised me because a lot of us took the plus, right? We took the points, and Texas, like, I don't care. I'm coming for you, right? So they looked.
I had Michigan winning that game outright. Actually, I did not think Texas.
I thought it was going to be close. I thought it was going to be closer because it was at Ann Arbor, and then it wasn't that close. And then Notre Dame's going to Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't know if it costs Freeman his job, but there's a lot of questions, more questions than answers right now. Losing that game. Shout out to Northern Illinois for going into, going into Notre Dame and not being intimidated and really taking it to them and really just punching them in the mouth. Leonard doesn't look like, I don't know. That's probably the best response I could have for Leonard at quarterback right now. I don't know.
I mean, I can respect it. Brian, man, week 2 college football, man. What'd you see? What'd you like? What didn't you like?
So let me just start with my boys over here. And I've been basically boycotting USC for like the last 4 years because it's hard for me, especially being a Niners fan, to get behind a team that refuses to tackle. But I got to tell you, man, you know what? They got that defensive coordinator from, I think it was UCLA. All of a sudden, it's amazing. All of a sudden, these kids can tackle. And I listen.
Should have been on 2 weeks ago.
I thought LSU maybe a little overrated, but they looked really good this last week. And so I got to tell you, with what I've seen so far, I think not only is USC the best team in the conference. I know everybody wants to tout Oregon. I think they're easily a top 4 or 5 team in the nation right now. Honestly, I know that they're 13, but I'm just saying, honestly, they are a very complete and balanced team. We already talked about Texas, so I'm not going to hit that much, but I did want to touch on something that Barry mentioned. everybody loves Alabama.
Yeah.
And they won. It's hard to crush somebody when in a winning effort. But this isn't the Alabama team of old, man. They allowed like 220 rushing yards or something like that, right? To who they played? Florida Atlantic, or I mean, it was
South Florida.
There you go. Yeah. My point being is if you look, because I did back then, but if you look, they had like 3 different running backs, and every one of those guys averaged like 5 yards a carry. So, when you get into those tough playoff games, like you guys know, like you got to be able to stop the run. I mean, literally, that's the reason why when you think about why Michigan annihilated Ohio State and basically knocked them out of any chance, they couldn't stop the damn run. And that is literally what I'm seeing right now with Alabama is, are they going to be able to stop the run when they get into the meat and potatoes of their schedule? And I'm not talking about all the highly, I'm not talking about, Tennessee or all the ranked teams. I'm saying they haven't proven to me that they can do it against anybody yet. So that'll be interesting to me. I still think Ohio State's overrated. I know, like, hey, 56-0 looks great. You know what? I'm sorry. The rust wears off awfully slow. I still remember them getting shell-shocked by a Michigan team that basically ran the ball 64 times last year and didn't even have to pass. I want to see them play somebody who's actually halfway decent and play run defense. Can we see Ohio State play run defense? Because it's real easy to be the 1998 Colts and like only have to basically do pass defense and just pin your ears back and run after the quarterback. It's a whole different thing when you have to actually play run defense. I'm not sure that they can do that.
I don't foresee Ohio State losing anything.
I don't see them getting challenged.
Here's that's the thing. Like they're not even getting challenged. Like, again, I'm not too sure which Penn State team's going to show up, but
this is what I was going to say. So hear me out. And I know some of this you guys are probably going to be like, you're crazy. I'm not saying Iowa is a barn burner. I'm not saying that Oregon, everybody's going to say, oh, these guys aren't on their level. They can run the ball. I want to see them actually stop the run. I haven't seen, I mean, they've played Akron and Western Michigan. Like at this point, I'm not convinced that they've solved the problem that Ohio State has had each of the last 3 years. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Ohio State actually stop the run. I will tell you one team that I was pretty impressed with last week, and I watched it because my wife's family are huge North Carolina State fans, is Tennessee just absolutely took those boys behind the shed. I mean, that was an absolute beat down. That looked like grown men playing against an 8th grade team. Like, I mean, that was a beat down. So that was nice to see. But I will tell you, man, you know what? What's really nice right now about college football is there's a lot of parity, as you guys know. I mean, there's a lot of if you look in the last 2 weeks, if you look at how many top 15 teams have lost, not just lost, but lost to unranked teams. I mean, I would say like right now we're probably on like a historic pace. So it is going to be interesting, and not to jump ahead, but I mean, you look at these week 3 matchups. There's several juicy matchups like Arizona and Kansas State. Like I like the Boston
Alabama,
College, Missouri.
The Alabama, Wisconsin one.
On the road.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to tell you one right here that like nobody else is going to think is true. I mean, I know you guys watch football, so you know, but I'm a little secretly interested to see how Oregon's going to play in Corvallis against Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because I think a lot of the national media is going to overlook that game. I'd be willing to bet you that that's going to be less than 10 points, whoever wins. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. So I'm pretty stoked for this slate of football. Oh, and by the way, Utah, I don't know if they're familiar, but there's 2 sides of the ball. You got to play offense too. They still haven't figured that out yet.
Utah is a villain's little.
Are you gonna pick them this week?
I'm thinking about it. I got it on my list, so it's I don't know.
It's on my list. Utah versus Utah State. Don't do it, dude.
Utah, my man Dylan's been flirting with Utah for a while, man. That's
I might have to get my U. That U, baby.
Wait, is Cam Brosnan playing? Because he's like year 7 and he stays hurt. He got hurt last week. He's the only dude that's been in college for 10 years.
He's like this generation's Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Right. Who finally got drafted. But Larry, man, before we go into this confidence pick, man, what you like, what you didn't like, and going into week 2. Yeah, and Florida State couldn't hurt you, so that's a plus.
I was just saying, I like the fact that I was able to reset this week and not have Florida State to think about.
Serious. I hate you.
Definitely need that decompression this week.
I needed that. I was like, we didn't win, but we didn't lose either.
Hey, but Ben Berry had a guy a powwow, venting session that help with the healing. You got to get it out.
Yeah, you got to help with healing, man. Because my wife don't understand, right? Larry, my wife don't understand.
So
she was so cute. She had her Florida State sweatshirt on Saturday morning. Yeah. I was like, babe, take that.
So, I'll say this, right? So I get what Barry was saying and I get what everybody's saying, but to me, when I look at everybody, Georgia's like still head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah.
Georgia is the one complete team. Complete.
Absolutely.
And elite complete. And that's where
we're talking like on the same level as the Niners. You know what I mean? Like elite complete.
Yeah.
Wait. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
You sure? You sure?
So let me ask you this question.
How the hell is the 49ers going to come out in their season opener to Roman Reigns? And they ain't won no championship.
I'm not doing that.
Hey, you know why? I'm going to tell you, Barry. There's something you don't know about the Niners because we the people's champ. You know what I mean? We the people's champ up in here. Hey, listen, Dallas don't even know this yet, but we're actually America's team. If you look at the most popular team, they don't even know it yet.
No, the Niners are Sokoa, and the Chiefs are Roman Reigns. All right, let's do it that way.
Yeah, the script has been written too many times.
Let me ask you this question, Larry. Are we sure the Bulldogs are a complete team when they beat the breaks off of Clemson, who is fraudulent, and they play at Tennessee Tech? Like, they're not even getting challenged until they play Alabama in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm gonna just say that they are the one team. I mean, you got to play on the schedule, but
right, I got you.
But when you play those teams and you beat the little breaks off of them, you are that guy. And you're not, like we said, Alabama struggled. We've seen all these other teams that their weaknesses are coming out. And Georgia's the one team that I don't see any weaknesses on. I'll be honest with you. They can play run defense, pass defense, run the ball, throw the ball, special teams, dude. And they even getting to the point now where they're even putting in like the backups, and the backups are just, coming in killing people. So I'm gonna say Georgia's head of the class. I did watch some of that Missouri game. Mm-hmm. I don't know, fellas. We thought they were like fraudulent contenders, but I don't know now. Yeah. This week is gonna be a challenge for them because they play BC. But oh my God, they've been bringing boys to the wood chipper. Like they've been, I don't know. We might have been, underestimating them. And when they play like, if they have to play Alabama or something, Alabama better not, take them lightly because they coming. I will go a little bit off the, beaten path because I think everybody else kind of hit everything. I did not like what I saw from the Colorado game.
Yeah,
I liked what I saw, but I didn't like what I saw because some of Colorado's problems are still problems, but those refs were horrible. I'm just going to be honest with you. Those refs were really, really horrible. I did like what I saw from Nebraska, and it was a much closer game than what the score indicated, but Shedeur is the best quarterback. I don't care what y'all say about Ewers. Ewers got more talent than he do. More of a better the offensive line is not even comparison. The running backs are nowhere near in comparison to what Shador has. Now, when receivers, he has better receivers, but when it comes to meat and potatoes, no. And his defense is nowhere near Texas's defense. So he's getting less possessions, but as far as reading the defense and his ball placement is amazing. And I don't know if you guys saw those refs were literally so horrible. Travis Hunter made an amazing catch. It was nowhere in the world nobody else could have caught that ball. He dragged that 1 foot, and they still called it incomplete. That was the one that got me. And I'm not saying that Colorado would have won or they should have beat them or nothing like that, but that was a momentum killer because that was an amazing catch, and they literally called it back. He drugged the foot, and that should have been a catch.
I will say this though, that catch does not equate to what we watched though. Like,
it was horrible play. It was real horrible play.
Okay, I mean, as long as we can agree to that, I'll let you roll with that.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. The first half was horrible, but he actually made adjustments, and the game got closer for the second half until it was a lot of real questionable calls. It was a lot of holdings that were called. It was a lot of flags start coming out, and I get it. Whatever the case may be, and I get it. Last year they beat them and all this other stuff, but yeah, I'm not saying that Colorado is gonna be a world beater. I'm just saying is that the game got closer the second half, and it was a much closer game than what we expected. But when you're looking at the comparison of the two quarterbacks, Shador is a better quarterback.
He's a better. He's I don't know. He's more talented, but I think Ewers is a safer pick. But we can debate that.
And the better quarterback.
We can debate that.
You think he's a better quarterback than Shador?
He got more talent.
I think his pocket awareness is a little better than Shador's. I think
he has the time.
No, that's what I was gonna say. But even still, when he does get the time, I feel like he does kind of want to go out the back door and scramble around instead of just standing in the pocket a little bit. It depends. It depends.
Can I tell you a trait that I think is severely underestimated and underappreciated in football in general for the quarterback?
Ball placement?
Processing.
That's true.
Processing.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, and this means no disrespect to Shador. I think he should have came out last year. Everybody thought he's going to come back and he's going to be the number one pick. Like from what I heard, he had a first round grade, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, would you take Shador over Bo Nix?
Yeah,
probably. Yes. Right, probably. Bo Nix went 12th overall.
Right.
So my point is he had a first round grade last year in the draft and decided to come back. Obviously play with Pops, and they thought that potentially they had a chance to maybe do something special. What I struggle with him, and I've watched quite a bit of his tape. I didn't watch this last game. I feel like when his first read's not open, he either immediately scrambles or he goes a little bit into panic mode. The one thing that I really appreciate with Ewers, now I'm doing what Barry did. Ewers is watch the processing. It's the same thing that they undervalued with Brock Purdy. It's the ability to go from one receiver to the next receiver to the next receiver and go, oh shit, I need to check down. Like, people don't realize how valuable that is to just take that 7-yard completion and keep the ball moving, keep the chains moving. And that's something that Ewers is literally masterful at. Right. And even Bo Nix, I'll give him his cred. Like, a lot of people want to hate on Bo Nix. One thing he was very good at is keeping the chains moving, right? Processing. I just didn't give him all the hype like everybody else because you guys know the scheme. Like, I felt like 60% of his passes were less than 5 yards. Like, it was a lot of screen passes. And so Shador definitely has a phenomenal arm. Shador definitely has the ability, and I would even say Jaden Daniels in the ability to his vertical quick, his lateral quickness. and ability to like evade, but he needs to really hone in and develop that processing. I think he could be a phenomenal quarterback, but if I'm starting a franchise right now and I got to pick between those guys, like to me, it's not even close.
But Barry,
like just being honest.
So this is where I'm gonna go with it, right? One, Ewers has way more time to process that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Shedeur doesn't, right?
But we can only judge him about what he's giving us, though, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't look at his first read because sometimes he throws to what's the other guy named Horde. Yeah, he throws to him too.
Yeah.
He doesn't just go to Travis Hunter. He goes there, but if you watch the game, they're the only two that's getting open, that's getting separation. Nobody else is really doing that. Well, Ewers has an abundance of talent where everybody's doing that. And you know where I'm gonna go with this? And what I see in Shedeur, I see Shedeur as being a better Michael Penix. And Michael Penix is probably gonna be the best quarterback in his ball. Michael Penix placement is head and shoulders above anybody.
What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys last year on The View? Everybody thought I was crazy, and I'm a USC guy. Larry, you weren't here. What did I tell you about Michael Penix versus the rest of the class?
You said he'd be the best quarterback in the draft.
I said he'd be the best quarterback in the draft. Give it a couple years. He's got an absolute cannon.
Yeah.
Cannon. By the way, at some point, like just because I mentioned cannon, and at some point, please somebody remind us that we got to talk about that Anthony Richardson off the back foot 72-yard friggin' throw. Like, we got to talk about that. There's about 3 dudes in the league that can do that, and Penix is one of them, and he's on the bench. So, like, at some point, we got to talk about that. Sorry. Go ahead, Larry.
But I see that arm strength, that ball placement. You can't teach ball placement. You can't teach that. And like I say, when I'm looking at his overall game, I have to imagine, what if he was on a team that had blocking and he had, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 seconds. He's getting literally like 2, maybe 3 on that Colorado line, maybe, to process. And they're not doing him any justice with, not throwing him some quick passes. They do it every once in a while, but he does not have the time that Ewers have. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When they sit back and they, I'm not a big fan of that. What is it? The Erling test or the whatever test is?
The Wonderlic test.
Wonderlic test. But I can bet you right now, because what I've heard from Manning, from Brady, when they actually pick his brain, they're saying that dude is like almost at Brady level, and you can't teach that. You can't teach that. He's gonna be a giant. He's gonna probably be a giant.
I mean, I won't wish that.
Larry, don't do that. Don't do that to him. Come on, man. Come on, man.
The draft capital.
Listen, all I'm saying is, listen. Everybody was saying Saquon was washed up. He gets out of New York, boom, 3 touchdowns immediately.
I'm not even going on to that. Barry's going to pull a gasket. You know what I'm saying?
Barry, it's been a while, man. I got to get a couple jabs in, brother.
Unplug his camera. I told you he's gonna pull a gasket.
Oh, wait till we talk about that game. He's gonna blow a big gasket.
He really is. So, with that being said, I wanted to get us into these confidence picks. For obvious reasons, Coach is not here with us today, so he is not able to pick.
If you mail it in, Coach, let us know. Mail it in.
Give him a mail-in ballot.
We'll count it. We'll count it. Larry, give me your 5-point play, sir.
Hurry
up. Barry?
Nah, Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Oh, I thought you said Barry.
That's what I thought he said too.
That's fine. I'll go. Fine. Georgia minus 24 on the road.
Damn, that was my layup. That was my layup.
That's fine. Right, Georgia's the best team in country. I like Kentucky. I think they're a good program, but I think Georgia, if they impressed me against Clemson, I feel like they're going to do it again on the road. I'll lay the points minus 24. Georgia. Minus 24. Thank you. Because seriously, mess with my picks. Breaking news.
And George is the favorite, right?
Yeah.
I'm going with three dogs. I'm going with three dogs plus the boink, baby.
All right, breaking news. Give me your 5-point play, sir.
Listen, sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, I don't like what I've seen from Oregon. The game is in Corvallis. I'll take Oregon State in the 16 points. I'll do that all day and twice on Saturday.
All right, she said Oregon.
And it's funny, breaking news, because some people picked them to go to the championship game, but after that first week, I didn't
man.
like what
they look soft like Jello, man.
So you're taking the 16 points. So it's Oregon State plus 16. I got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or origami over there. They
That's
fold
right. That's right. Wait till you hear my third one, man. You guys, I'm about to get some oohs and ahs up in here.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let me go ahead and update. Drop it.
What you got, Larry?
Larry, give me a 5-point play, sir.
Man, I'm shooting dunks on a 6-foot rim, man. I hate losing, man. I hate easy big.
My man going to the Fisher Price gym. I ain't mad at you.
Man, look, hey, I'm shooting on that. You know how you see that little pink and white goal that the kids shoot on, you just lay it in there. I'm taking Texas with the points, bro. I'm taking an easy one. Number 5.
Listen, I'm just letting you know they're probably gonna win, but it's 35, dude.
35.
What goddamn?
They're probably gonna score 70-something points on them.
Yes.
And I'm just letting you know, UTSA, they score 14, they're gonna win, dude, just because of the spread.
No, it's gonna be a 35-0 shutout.
You better hope that because you won't win.
Then you're pushing. You lose.
No, let me take that back. It's gonna be 38-3. They're gonna get a field goal.
No, then you still push. That's 35 points.
Yeah, it's 35. 35.
Yeah,
right,
you gotta win by more than 35.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they gonna it's gonna be 42-3.
Come on now.
There you go, 42-3.
Listen, we coming. Serious, come on, man, give your pick because I'm ready to come out punching, man. I got these dogs that are ready to eat.
Oh, UTSA. What's the line on that? 35?
35.
Yeah,
35.
Get the hell out of here.
Hell, I took Oklahoma last week and they had 30 point on U of H and shit the bed and barely won by 2. I was like, what? U of H was so horrible last week. I mean, the week before.
You know what? I was humbled over the weekend, and I just this is tough.
Look, he's taking his time on that 5-point play. He's like,
I'm trying to hoop, man. I'm trying to hoop.
I mean, LSU's been available. I'm just saying.
I'm not touching LSU with a 10-foot pole. But what I will do. And I will take Maryland versus Virginia -2.5. Maryland lost a tough one last week to Michigan State. Maryland's going on the road. They're going to Charlottesville. Give me Maryland and the point. So Maryland, Virginia is my 2.25. 2.25. Let me write this down real quick. So we got Maryland.
Interesting.
Maryland, UVA, it's -2.25. And that's the cover. Bam. I bet Maryland is favored there. Boom. All right, my 4-point play going in reverse order. I promised myself I wouldn't mess with Florida State ever again, and I'm holding true to that because I think they're going to lose this one to Memphis too.
Whatever.
I'm keeping it a whole being with you. I'm gonna take Alabama, Wisconsin. Alabama's favored by 16, but I think Wisconsin keeps it close. I think they do not cover.
That was gonna be my 3-point play right there.
16.
It's 16. It's 16. I think Wisconsin is from the Big Ten. We play defense in the Big Ten. And I just don't think they're going to be able to run all over the place. So I think Bama wins it, but they don't cover. So Wisconsin.
This will be a nice little test, too, because Wisconsin, historically, as you guys know, always can run the rock. So, with them big boys on the O-line. And like I said, I haven't been impressed with the run defense. So I like that. I like that plus 16.
All right, Villain, talk to me, man. What's your 4-point play, sir?
I'm going to risk it all here.
Oh, God.
I'm going to take a chance. I got Oklahoma minus 13.5. I think even though Tulane, I like their offense. I think they can score some points. I think at home in Norman, I think they can get 2 touchdowns on them. If it was 14, I'd probably hold back. But I think it's 13.5, I can get that 2-point touchdown, the 2-touchdown win. So Oklahoma minus 13.5.
I like it. Getting frisky. I like it. I like it a lot, man. I like it a lot. Brian, breaking news, man. Give me your 4-point play, sir.
All right, man. So check it out. I am gonna go with another dog. Because that's what we do out here. We're full of dogs out here in California. I'm gonna go with Arizona plus 7.5. I love me some Fafita. I thought he looked super poised as a true freshman. I think he's only better now. And listen, you know what? I might be the only one, but I think Kansas State might be a little bit overrated. So I'll gladly take the 7.5, but I think they might just beat them outright.
Ooh, so you going plus 7.5? I couldn't gracious, Brian. So you're picking Arizona. Or you picking K-State?
Arizona plus 7.5. We're doing an all dog special here.
I like it though. I like it.
But you did take I was gonna take Wisconsin as my next one. So that was, like I said, I think that's a good one.
Larry, talk to me, my man. Where'd you head after your 4-point play, sir?
Man, I told you, man. I'm over here
He's
doing
going Tennessee
on the 3.
I take Tennessee minus 49.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to the game.
He's like, I'm not feeling Kent State. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, man. I literally didn't get no points last week. I gotta get back in the game, man.
You know why? Because you didn't pull the trigger on YouTube TV when I told you to.
Hey, man.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you know what? I got risky. I was playing real risky last week. Hey, and now I gotta throttle it back and play a little safe, man. Hey. So let me throttle it down a little bit. So for my 4-point play, hey, you gotta look this one up. And I feel bad doing it, but I gotta get back in the game, man. I got to. I'm taking Michigan State plus 40.5 over Prairie View A&M.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Is that Division 2 school?
Is that a line?
Yeah, you gotta look at the line, man. I had to go research it, but it's out there. That's what I'm taking, brother.
There's not even a line on that game.
It is. It's 40.5, man. Go on FanDuel.
There's no line.
Go on FanDuel. It's on there. It's 40.5.
Hey, even the wise guys won't let you bet on that one, man. Come on, man.
Hey, it's on FanDuel.
You all pulling lines from ESPN bet, man. Stop it.
No, man, it's on FanDuel. It ain't going there, man. It's the 180.
Hey, if you want to take some action on that Arizona State Texas State game, like we might let you get in on that.
Hey,
now,
no,
like
man,
that one actually got a line.
I need a layup right now.
My man said Michigan State risky.
Hey, I need a hell.
He said Prairie. He said Prairie View. I said, is that a high school?
Yeah. So there is a line. I looked on CBS.
There's a line.
It's 40.5.
It's 40.5, man.
So you're taking Prairie View plus 40.5?
I'm taking what's called it?
Michigan State minus.
Get
the hell out.
I can't let that rock. You know, I'm coming back to it's an over under 50.5. The line is minus 40.5.
I need a layup, man. I need a layup.
that means they don't think Prairie's going to score more than 7 points.
I need a layup.
Okay.
I need a layup. I need an easy game, man.
That's
I'll come back on me on my third pick, and then I'm gonna give more risky. I'm back in the game, but for the points, man, I gotta take it. For the big points, I gotta take it, man. Look,
So
hey,
Michigan minus 40.5 of the Prairie View High School or middle school Marauders.
Hey, hey, I had to lay it on the line a little bit. I had to, risk it all, man. I had to put my chips in.
Dude, it's like that episode of Married with Children when Al gets his high school buddies back, and then he's playing against all players.
Yes. I need it, brother. I need it.
The line is 40 right now. The line is 40.
40 and a half. 40 and a half, bro.
Get the heck out of here,
bro. Hey, look, I need the points, man. I didn't get not one game right, not one.
So he's basically thinking it's gonna be 41 to nothing.
Barry at least got his 5-point play right, which was crazy.
No, I got the 4-point. I got the
5-point. Right.
Coach got the 5-point play.
Coach got the 5-point. Yeah, he got the 5-point. He picked Texas. I had Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech.
I did so bad last week that if Breaking Hughes get out his right, he'll have more points than me this week. Like, dude,
if I get what are you talking about? If Breaking News gets if I get one right, one.
I need to get back in the game, man.
Hey, I'm picking all dogs and I'm gonna be ahead.
Yeah, I was being real risky last week, man. This week I gotta throttle it back a little bit. But
that's hilarious.
I gotta take my foot off the gas.
Hey, so K-State is favored in that game. Brian, you were there, right?
No.
Yeah, K-State is
favored.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
but he picked Arizona plus 7.5.
No, I thought he picked K-State plus 7.5. Oh, he picked
Arizona. No, I picked Arizona. I love me some Fafita. I thought they were ranked 20th. I thought they were the lower ranked team.
Yeah, K-State is 14.
Right, Arizona. It's Arizona plus 7.5. Correct?
Yeah.
That's what I said. I'm going all dogs. We're getting the Bow Wow gang. We're getting the Bow Wow gang together over here.
Wow, yippee. Larry, give me a 3-point play, sir.
So now I'm gonna get a little bit more risky, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Now we're picking teams that are only favored by 35.
Yeah. Nah.
He's going to go Florida State, Memphis. Go Florida State, Memphis.
Now I gotta get more riskier, right? I'm gonna pick. I'm picking South Carolina with the upset of LSU.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right now.
I ain't like what I saw from LSU in that first game, and then they gave up 20. They gave up 21 to Nichols. Like, I'm not liking what I see from LSU, so I want to take South Carolina for the upset.
All right, give me 1 second.
Don't be trying to get on my dog trend now. Come on, Larry. Don't mess up my dog trend.
Nah, dude. I mean, the Gamecocks have actually been playing pretty good. And when you look at
they haven't been bad.
LSU's defense ain't like your typical LSU's defense. When they play USC was moving the ball on them. They moved the ball a lot.
That's because USC's a contender, man. Like I said, they're going to end up being top 5. Watch.
They learned how to tackle.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say all that.
We want to tackle now.
You're taking South Carolina plus 7 there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Let's ride now. Let's ride.
Listen. You want to talk about risk it for the biscuit?
Now we can hoop. Now we can hoop.
You want to talk about risk it for the biscuit? My next one is only a 3-point spread. Still going with the dog. You ready?
Yeah.
Indiana Hoosiers 2-0. 2-0 on the road at UCLA. They've had 2 road games in a row. Have to go cross country to UCLA. I think UCLA is actually a pretty decent team. They already had a bye. UCLA at home is a 3-point dog. So I'm taking UCLA in the field goal, and we're probably going to win outright.
All right, so UCLA plus 3.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who's favored that? Indiana?
Yeah.
Indiana's favorite. And LSU's favorite in the South Carolina joint, right, Larry?
Yeah.
All right. And you're taking South Carolina to beat LSU, right?
Yep.
Got it. Make sure I get my numbers right and everything straight. You know what I'm saying? Villain, give me a 3-point play, sir.
So I waffled on this a little bit, but I'm going to stick to my guns. I didn't like what I saw in week 1. I think it's going to hold true even though they're at home. Give me the road favorite, Texas A&M -4 at Florida. I don't like what I see from Florida. I don't like it. 4 points on the road, I think I can cover that.
Texas A&M, huh?
I don't like what I think. I think if Florida goes with the freshman quarterback, they'll keep it close. I think they can make it a game, but honestly, I think Florida is in the same boat as Florida State. I think they're in trouble.
So you're picking Texas A&M to go on the road and
-4 points.
Are you picking Texas A&M to win it outright?
Yep, absolutely -4.
So want to be +4 in that quarter?
-4.
They're
Texas
the favorite.
A&M.
Yeah. Okay.
-4. Texas A&M -4.
Hey, he has a comprehension problem, not a hearing problem. Damn, man.
I literally said Miami -2.5 against Florida. This guy wanted to debate me for a week. That's not what I said.
No,
give me a break, dude.
All right, so you know what? I'm not playing.
hate.
I'm not playing with y'all this week, man. I want to hoop, so let's hoop, man. Shout out to Coach, man, wherever you at watching this debate, man. This year on the show, man. There is a nice top 25 matchup going on in the SEC on Saturday, man.
Yeah, you know me.
This Missouri Boston College game is has my attention for obvious reasons. The line is 17. I think Missouri beats the brakes off of Boston College. Man. Give me Missouri to cover that. So and it looks like it's on the road. No, it's out. Missouri's at home.
I'm all for Bill O'Brien getting the brakes beat off of him. So hey, I'm all for that.
So we're gonna go Mizzou. Boston.
All right.
And it's -17. Cover. Bam. All right. And my 2-point play, since I'm going back around the bend. Shucks, man. I don't even know what I want to go with this. You know what? I'm gonna mess around with this Arizona Kansas State joint real quick.
That's fine.
I know. It's nice. You can have it.
No. But if you jump on it, I'm gonna lose because I know your luck. Don't mess with my game, dude. Don't mess with my game.
I'm going the opposite direction.
Okay, if you think the opposite direction, then I feel pretty comfortable.
I'm going the opposite direction. I think Kansas State beats them by more than 7.25. So give me Kansas State at home to beat Arizona by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion there at least. So give me K-State.
All right.
Arizona, it's 8.5 right now. 8.25 cover, and I think K-State is favored. Bam, they are favored there. Villain, give me a 2-point play, sir.
I'm piggybacking off of you. I like K-State -7.5 at home.
Bam, easy said and done. Breaking news, man. Give me a 2-point play, sir.
All right. This one's probably not going to be very popular, and I know that there's a lot of people that watch that, for whatever reason, love Notre Dame. I'm not convinced Notre Dame can stop the run, and the only thing that Purdue can do is run. I like Michael B. I'm saying Purdue and the 10 points at home is a little too much. So I'll take Purdue and the 10-point lead, and I'll happily take that for my 2-point play.
Purdue, Notre
Plus 10.
Dame. Yeah, plus 10. I like this. My man comes in hooping, and he said,
No layups, all dogs, man. I'll be doing the layups like Larry next week. Be like, I'm gonna take Texas A&M School for the Blind versus Ohio State. I'm going to Ohio State.
Larry, give me your 2-point play, big dog.
Hey man, just go ahead, copy and paste, man. That's what I already had it up there. I had it up there, man. And you know the thing about that is, to echo what Barry said about stopping the run. But if you notice, like Notre Dame under, I always forget his name, but they always struggle early in the season, and when they lose one game, they lose the back-to-back. It's normally a couple of games before they kind of right the ship a little bit. And I think coming off of that loss, I think they're gonna still be a little, not as ready for Purdue like they normally would be. But I think they're gonna take the L too. So copy and paste what breaking news put in.
All right, say less, say less. What's your 1-point play here, Larry?
For my 1-point play, I gotta say
it's so hard to say.
It is. Barry, don't kill me. I ain't like what I've been seeing from Florida State.
I know you was going there. I knew you was going there.
It's so hard
to
say goodbye.
I'm gonna bet against myself, but I'm gonna hope for the best, and I'm gonna speak for the worst. But I'm gonna go with Memphis, man. I haven't liked what I've seen from Florida State, man. The line is only 7 or something like that.
6.5. 6.5, and they are at home.
And
yeah,
we was at home.
It makes no difference.
Make no difference, bro. We
It makes no difference.
Yeah, and Barry know why I'm really kind of hoping that the ship sinks. So yeah,
you want pound time,
Coach Prime.
Hey, bring him on in. That boy has
Isidore Sanders in the Florida State uniform. Let's go.
As long as they open the checkbook, he'll have every recruit in Florida signing up.
That's right.
All right, so Florida
Get
State.
that Florida State money.
All right, breaking news. Give me your 1-point play, my guy.
All right, so this is the only one that I've waffled a little bit because I was going to pick a favorite, but I was like, you know what? In the spirit of just having a dog pack, at this point, like I feel like it would be rude to not just go all dogs at this point. So I'm going to go with the North Texas Mean Green plus 9.5 versus Texas Tech.
I looked at the game too.
I'm not 100% sold on Texas Tech. And listen, all the Texas rivalries, I don't give a shit who it is. Like you could pick like I said, the Texas School for the Blind. Like it's still going to be a 10-point game at the end of it all. The other thing is too, boys, is if you look at the over under on the game, it's a pretty high scoring over under. It's like 70. So I think it's going to be pretty competitive, and having that extra 10 points, I think my Mean Green, they're about to show Texas Tech something.
So you're picking North Texas to cover the 9.5.
No, I'm picking North Texas, and you're giving me 9.5 points. I'm taking all dogs.
He's on dogs.
I'm trying to take my 9.5 because then it's like an 18-point swing.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about, Hughes? You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This guy making it up.
No wonder Sirius is winning.
Yeah.
No wonder Sirius is winning, huh?
Yeah, exactly. No, Villain is winning. The villain is
no. Yeah, Villain's winning currently.
All right. Look at you, Villain.
All
right, you know what? Hey, even if the NFL ain't working, at least something's working.
Speaking of Villain, man, give me a 1-point play, dog. Are you copy and pasting what your boy said down there?
No, so I was waffling, man. I was like, damn, am I gonna go a week and not pick my boys Utah because I'm with the U? But I'm gonna go against you guys. Give me
Oh,
Notre
dude.
Dame -10.
Oh man, Barry, why you want? I noticed you only made that your 1 point play though.
Exactly.
You ain't that confident. he ain't put that shit as like a 5 point play or anything.
But I'm like, Freeman's gonna get them back. Purdue always bothers me. They don't show up to big games lately, so they bother me a little bit. Notre Dame, they should be pretty hungry to get that win back. So on the road, -10, I'll take that.
I thought
Notre
about that
Dame -10.
Put a little L next to that one too. Just
Oh God!
you know what I mean? And the 1 point play, just a little L.
I wanted to mess with that game so much too, but you know what? For my 1 point play,
I mean, the Miami game's out there. I'm just saying, man.
you
You
know
see how long
what?
it's taking to do this? Like, dude,
You
we
know
didn't
what?
like process this like early in the week. Send it to us on Sunday, man.
I know. You already know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, you like, dude.
I don't because like that Miami game is interesting. I got Ole Miss Wake Forest sitting here, which is interesting. Utah State, Barry and mess with Utah. So
What is that price? We need to key up that Price is Right music or something.
shut your
I know,
face, shut
right?
your face, Mister. I'm gonna do Texas versus Texas Tech for the blind. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, you gotta remember, I'm
You
from
know
Texas, man. We will bet on like middle school games. Man. Look.
Hey,
Here's
that's
what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do.
that's
Here's what I'm gonna
legit.
do.
That's legit.
Yeah,
They'd be
we bet
like,
on Pop
"Hey, I'll bet
Warner,
you $5. I could tie my tennis shoes faster than you."
I'm gonna go with this UConn versus Duke matchup, man. Duke is here
Uh-oh.
about 16.5. I don't foresee that, so I got UConn actually covering that.
He's going to the dog. Oh.
So yeah, my man done roast something in me, so I'm gonna go UConn.
Hey, man, in Texas, man, we bet on flag football, man. It don't matter.
Yeah, what's the line, man? What's the line?
The line on that is
Nobody-
16.5.
Nobody wanted any of the Vanderbilt Georgia State action.
Negative.
No,
Nah.
Negative.
not.
Do not.
I'll be lucky if I can get some of this stuff.
Hey, Easter Michigan, Jacksonville State. I mean, come on, guys.
Negatory.
Hey, look, I'll look at some of these SWAT games over here and see what the line is. I'll look at some MEAC over here. Hey, what the line is in the MEAC.
I'm taking North Dakota State to cover.
Yeah.
All right, so
take
confidence picks for college is set. I got Maryland 2.5. My 5 point play, Bama, Wisconsin at 6.5. I don't expect them 16. I don't expect them to cover that. So I'm taking it under there. Missouri, Boston College as my 3 point play. It's mine right there. That's 17. K-State versus Arizona. The line is at 8.5. I expect K-State to cover that. And my 1 point play is UConn versus Duke, and I do not expect Duke to cover that. Actually, Villain, run it down for me, my guy.
5 point play, Georgia -24. I got my 4 point play, Oklahoma -13.5. My 3 point play, Texas A&M -4. My 2 point play, KSU, Kansas State -7.5. My 1 point play, Notre Dame -10 on the road. Sorry, my buddy Andy. He's a Purdue alum. Sorry, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Andy, man. One of your Giants fans. Cool guy.
He's a Jets fan.
He's a Jets fan. Oh, okay. Cool. Breaking news, man. Run it down for me, my guy.
Hey, man, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I didn't realize we had to, write down our picks. So I'm going to do the best I can, but I don't know what the play is. I'm going to have to get this back to you later on. Arizona.
I got to write it down because Sirius tries to get away with it if it wasn't for the kids.
I know the matchups. I just don't remember the order, so.
You good. You know what? Text me an email. I'll throw you on the spreadsheet here.
Okay, I got you.
You got Oregon State plus 16. You took Oregon State. You went all dogs. You went Arizona to beat Kansas State. Line is plus 7.5. You got Indiana, UCLA. You took UCLA at plus 3. You got Purdue, Notre Dame. You went with Purdue plus 10. And then you got North Texas, Texas Tech at 9. 9 is 9.25. So that's what your joint was. I will throw you on the spreadsheet. To you.
And that smells like victory.
Ooh. Yeah, well, you know what? I thought we picked some winners last week, and literally 1, 2, 3, 4 games out of 20 were correct. So we got some work to do with that. With that being said,
you already know me. Just don't even ask me. Just run the tape back.
Yeah. I'm not even know what you're saying. I sit completely over you. We got a couple more minutes left in the show, gentlemen. I wanted to talk NFL, man. Week 1 has come and gone, like we did with the college football. What you like, what you didn't like. Breaking news, man. I'll start with you, my guy, man. Week 1 has come and gone. How you feel?
I feel overall pretty good. Normally the defenses are pretty significantly ahead of the offenses. I thought there was some pretty good offensive performances. Horrible to see a guy like Jordan Love injured, like the second to the last play of the game or whatnot. I mean, the game was still in the balance, so it's not like he wasn't going to be out there. But I just wanted to bring this up. So I noticed multiple times where coaches went for 2 points and ended up getting nothing. And when it was all said and done, they ended up losing by 1 or 2 points. I want to say that was even prevalent like in your game series where at one point, it was a very close game, and Tennessee, I think they had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter, so turnovers are going to be an issue. Not having the gumption to go for it, and I'll give you 2 examples. Niners basically had their foot on the Jets' throat. It was inside the 5-yard line, 4th and 1. Mason's averaging 5.5 yards a clip. Run the damn ball. You're up by 13. What is 3 points? What is 3 points going to do for us? I don't care if you don't get the 1 yard and Rodgers and company takes over at the 4. They had 1 drive that was more than 6 plays all night until the last drive. Like, have some faith in your defense and have some faith in the offense. And I don't know, maybe I just completely missed it, boys. And after this, I'll let you guys go. But Anthony Richardson and company, best game in my opinion. Like no disrespect to the Green Bay and the Eagles game, but best game of the weekend in my opinion was the Colts and the Texans. And Anthony Richardson and company score with 2:25 left in the game, and for whatever inexplicable reason, they don't go for an onside kick, even though they haven't been able to stop the run all damn game long. And basically, the Texans just run the clock out.
You can't do the onside kick like you used to. You have to declare that you're gonna onside kick now.
Yeah, but even if you have to declare, listen, when the guys get in the stance, whether you declare it or not, it's pretty obvious that you're doing the onside kick. I'm just saying, in that situation, with the game on the line with 2 minutes to go and Mixon averaging 6 yard a clip, I think he ended up having 30 carries. Like, give your offense a chance and kick the onside kick. Like that's just my opinion. I know it's like, hey, give our defense may get a stop, but I feel like a lot of these coaches in week 1, they didn't read the room. There was a lot of opportunities where maybe one side of the ball was struggling for like your game series. For whatever inexplicable reason, they decided to basically single-handedly allow J.J. Watt to win that game. For some reason, they decided they were not going to give any help on that side of the ball, and he ended up getting 2 critical sacks and I think two forced fumbles. I know at least one, but I believe he had 2 forced fumbles. It's like you literally gave that game away. It was a 17-16 game with 8 minutes left in the game, and your inability to run the ball or give any kind of protection on that blind side basically lost you the game. So I'm going to be looking for a big rebound. One last thing, boys. Everybody's down on the Jets right now saying that they're pretenders. The next 4 weeks, they play all pretenders, all powder puffs. They play Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. They play the McCarthy-less Vikings, so they play Sam Darnold. They play Bo Nix and Denver. And I forget the last team, but my point being is in 5 weeks from now, when they're number one in the AFC East, people are going to look at the Jets a little bit differently. The Niners are just that good.
I will definitely echo that sentiment. Larry, man, week one's come and gone, man. Where'd you head at?
I'll echo what Breaking News said. Yeah, the Niners are who they thought we were. And I'll put this out there, right? You could tell the teams that actually played preseason games. That's the thing that stuck out to me the most. Like, I know we got into the Tyreek issue, but the Dolphins struggled that game, and nobody played the preseason. Every team that literally, Aaron Rodgers didn't play the preseason. Dude, like, these teams, they need to realize that you have to let these guys play. And I get it. They put more into these joint practices, but you cannot simulate game speed. You cannot simulate somebody trying to take your head off. You can't simulate another grown man trying to move another grown man off of the offensive line. You can't simulate that in a joint practice because, one, you can't hit your quarterback. And two, they're running only a certain kind of plays. They're not running full defenses. They're not revealing all of their offensive hand. So, that stuck out to me. And I don't want to go into a ranting session, but dude, the offensive line, the penalties for the illegal formation, it was literally undermining, compromising the game. And it's so fine line where you see them calling it on some, not calling it on others. You see where a guy is literally a half a step behind and is not being called, and the same guy in the same half a step behind is being called. I think that, and I get it, the NFL said that they were going to come down on it, but I think it needs to be refined because it's compromising the quality of the game. And I think at some point somebody needs to sit down and say, you know what? I got a grown man who's running at another grown man. Does it make sense for him to line a little bit farther back, brace himself, for this impact, or for him to be right up in his face and he's on the line and I'm on the line? It was horrible seeing that many penalties being called. It was just it was crazy to me, and I think that was one of the things. Like, even we all saw that big upset with the Bengals. Like, nobody played in the preseason. Jamar Chase
wasn't an upset though, man. The Bengals don't play preseason at all anyway. Like,
yeah, but the Patriots are supposed to be that good.
Yeah, they lose. They lose
home,
week one every year. They lose week one
but
every year.
At home against a team that's rebuilding. I don't think so.
And Jacoby Brissett got hurt. Dude, that should have been a game that they should have walked.
It is worth noting though, even last year when they were pitiful, right? And they weren't much better than pitiful. The Patriots have always been pretty good defensively. Yeah. You know what the biggest difference between the Patriots last year when Bill was running the show and this year is Gerard Mayo at least understands, you know what? I'm going to run the damn ball. 25 times to Stevenson. That was the difference between this year and last year. They get too cute. That's the reason why in fantasy nobody wants to draft a running back, because he's like, hey, I want to have 19 different options. I'm going to give each one of them 3 carries. Like, you guys know as a running back, if you're going to get into any kind of rhythm, you need to touch the rock. You need 10, 12, 14, 18 carries. And in that offense, if you got 10 carries, that was a lot. So I'm actually encouraged. I think if you play good defense and you can run the rock, you got a shot. And I'm not saying they're going to surprise teams in the sense that they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they're going to beat more teams than people think. They're not going to be competing for the number 1 overall pick. I'm telling you, they kind of remind me a little bit of the Niners when Jim Harbaugh first got there. Remember, he took over a 3-13 team, and like year 1 they were 12-4. And I'm not saying they're going to make that kind of transformation, but my point being is They can run the ball and they play good defense. They're going to be in a lot of games. It's going to be a lot of ugly, like 17-14 type games that either going to be a coin flip at the end of the game.
Yeah, don't get me started on that because between Jim Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, they know how to muck up a game and win. Oh my God, they're still mucking up games and winning, and that was one of the takeaways.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be me if I didn't piss off Aaron. Justin Fields did what Justin Fields was supposed to do. But I will say this, and we've said it before, that offensive line, they need to fix that offensive line with the Steelers. They're still struggling to run the ball.
Yeah.
And and that's how they win games. That's how you ground and pound them, and of course you just have somebody who can manage the game. And the Steelers' offensive line is still not establishing the run, and it's putting a little bit more responsibilities onto the quarterback. But like I said, and I agree with breaking news. Like a lot of teams were really playing it safe. Hell, Moody had 6 field goals. Boswell had 5. Even the guy for New Orleans had 5 field goals. It was a lot of kickers that kicked 5 field goals. But I will wrap this up, and I will say this: week 1, I know the NFL. You're trying to expand your game. You make billions. How in the hell can you not import a goddamn field into Brazil? How can you not import a goddamn field into Germany or whatever? I don't like seeing these games where guys are trying to play on a soccer field, and JJ Watt hit it on the head. That field is not made for football players to be playing on. And it took away from a good game to see guys sliding all everywhere, and then Love get hurt at the end. And NFL, y'all make billions of dollars. Y'all knew that game a year ago was going to be played there. Y'all could have had grass growing in Brazil a year ago or something, and replace that field out, put it in, and take it back and put the soccer field back in. They do it all the time with baseball and everything else. But yeah, that got to be fixed.
Well, you know what, Villain. Week 1 is come and gone.
And the Giants still stuck.
I know you got to get up early in the morning, so I mean, if you want to lament, you sure can. But if you want to pivot somewhere else, be my guest.
No, I mean, first of all, I gotta acknowledge. I hope Jordan Love is fine. It looked nasty when he went down. It looked really scary. I thought the worst happened. I think 4 to 6 weeks is what they're talking about right now. So I think they lucked out with that. They have to weather the ship in Green Bay without it for a couple of weeks. The Eagles, Hurts didn't look impressive. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they got to do to fix him. I don't know if they can try to blame the coach, Stefanski, whatever they want.
It's not his fault. He's making bad decisions with the football.
Exactly. So I think there's something they got to fix with him. Barkley looked good. I'm happy to see him healthy. I mean, a lot of people want. It's so weird. I get a lot of Eagles pages on my feed, and like Giants fans are mad or they're punching the air like Boys in the Hood because Daniel Jones had a bad game and Barkley had 3 touchdowns. I'm happy for Barkley. I hate that he's doing it on the Eagles. But Barkley's a great guy, and injuries have been his problem. I just want to see him healthy. Obviously I don't want to see him doing it against my team, and it hurts to see him do it on the Eagles because I hate the Eagles. But I'm happy for him personally. So get that out of the way. TJ Watt's the best defensive player in football. I don't know how anybody argues that. I had an argument with my brother about him and Micah Parsons, and my brother's a Cowboy fan, and he even says it. He thinks Micah Parsons is okay, not a game changer as far as when you need a big play. When you need a big play on defense, TJ Watt's always there.
You can run at Mike. You can't run at TJ.
Exactly. You can't run at him. You can't run away from him. You can't block him with 2 guys. When you need a sack, he's there. when he had that fumble recovery, he was right there. Like TJ Watt is the best defensive player in football, and I don't want to hear anybody any different about it. I just don't. I don't want to hear it. I have to say that. The Cowboys, it's early. September.
It's September Cowboys,
in.
man. That's what they do.
Get it in.
That's what they do.
Get it in, baby. Get it in.
Hey,
Get
Gary, you know what I say?
up.
Empty
Get their
calories.
hopes up.
Empty calories.
Empty calories.
Empty
Right?
calories.
But Watson, I don't want to hear that because you're making $230 million guaranteed. I don't want to hear that you're rusty. You had a year and a half or whatever off. Like, dude, you've been playing football long enough. I see a guy that's lost, completely lost out there on the field, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So he needs to get it together. I know they're missing 2 tackles, and Nick Chubb is still recovering from the injury. The defense didn't look great, but the Cowboys didn't look impressive.
That's the best defense in football, right?
Hey,
They didn't look impressive though. That offense, right? Like I think Dak made plays. He looked good, but like they settled for field goals. They didn't look overly impressive on offense, which is empty calories to me, right? So,
hey Barry, let me chime in on that when you're done.
Yeah, go for it. Real quick, go ahead.
So this is my take on Watson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember when Mike Vick sat out like 2 years?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you know how horrible Mike Vick looked? And you know what Andy Reid did? Andy Reid ran a play here, a play there. He slowly eased him back into the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
What people don't realize about Deshaun Watson is he didn't miss a season. He's actually missed like 2.5 seasons because first year he was on the commissioner's exempt list the entire year.
Yeah.
The second year he was suspended the entire year. And then last year he only played a couple of games and got hurt. Right? And what I take away from watching that game was they never eased him back into playing again because you could tell he's thinking too much. He's not playing like he normally would play. And they're not playing to his strengths. You know who he looks like to me? And it dawned on me. Ken Dorsey's the O coordinator. He looks like Josh Allen with Ken Dorsey, and people were fussing about Josh Allen and how bad he looked and all the turnovers and all the stuff he was doing. And now he's back to playing more freely, more Josh Allen. And when I look at
he still had the turnovers though.
I mean, but that's
but that's his game.
That's his game.
That's like Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Right.
And it looked like Deshaun is playing like Allen did under Dorsey and not playing that. Deshaun was never that really like drop back in the passer. He was more free flowing, just like Josh Allen. He'll make plays. He'll scramble for some, run over. And Dorsey is making him look like Josh Allen did. And that's the problem I have. That's the problem I have with Deshaun Watson. He's not. They never gave him an opportunity to ease him back into game speed, but then he's playing. I'm gonna say not to his strengths.
I think the offense doesn't fit him. That's what I see.
But you know what? That's where I agree with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp said, if you're a good O coordinator, you don't make your quarterback play in your offense. You cater your offense to your quarterback.
That's what made Kyler Murray good. They catered the offense to his strengths, and they're not doing that with Deshaun
Every
Watson.
Every quarterback
quarterback has strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, I agree with you.
I'll go there, Barry. Yeah. The Giants have actually been trying to do it with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones plays like that. He plays like a Josh Allen, and they've been trying to do it. He's just been making bad plays.
Yeah. Daniel Jones. He looks lost. He has no confidence. I sent you guys the stat. He's thrown more touchdowns since he signed that contract to the other team than to his own players, right? It's mind-boggling, 3-2. But it's so weird because his first season, it was Danny Dimes. He was doing throwing on a dime. He looked great and taking Eli's job. And then till now, like he looks completely lost and no confidence, deer in the headlights.
I think the thing is with him is I think you're right. I don't think he has any confidence at all.
He has no confidence, and he can't read a defense. I said it to one of the guys that did the Giants preview show with me, Anthony and Mike, one of my buddies, and I was talking to Adriana as well. The game's too fast for him. It's fine. It's fine, but it's too fast for him because he lacks confidence right now, right? So it's just moving so fast he can't adjust like that. The interception he threw, the pick six to the lineman, is a great play by the lineman. It's like a what the hell play out of Daniel Jones, but the pick in the end zone is the one that bothers me the most because it's like everything you could do wrong. Like you drop back, you got protection, you got the route open, you don't look off the safety, you throw it into triple coverage, the guy cuts it off. It's like every step of that play was set up for him to be successful, and he screwed it up. And that's what's bothering me about this guy. I'm done with him. I don't want to see him anymore. And do I think he can play quarterback in this league? Not for the Giants. Not for the Giants. Like, he needs to sit out for a couple of years and get the Baker Mayfield treatment. Like, sit it out, learn something. I don't know. Just get your confidence back. It's not going to work in New York. It's going to cost Brian Daboll his job. And Brian Daboll is a head.
Hey, I was going to tell you, Barry, when you get a minute. No, go ahead, Barry.
Go.
No, I just want to get through it and just say, like, it's going to cost him his job if he doesn't switch. That Brian Daboll was the coach of the year and now looks like a terrible coach. And it's like everybody's saying, what he's calling the plays, what kind of plays are you calling, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he's trying to call plays, simple plays to give Daniel Jones confidence, to get him in the flow of the game. And Daniel Jones still can't do it. Simple reads, slants, crossing over the middle, flare pass. He can't do it. Like, they're like crying for Daboll to go throw it downfield. This guy has no confidence. This guy is lost. Like, he's trying to make the game easy for him, and he still can't do it.
So
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They lose to the Commanders. Daboll's got to make a move to save his job, and Daniel Jones. Sorry, buddy.
So
I wanted you gone.
I haven't given my opinion on week one, but I just saw something that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention, man. Speaking of Deshaun Watson, he has a burner Twitter account based off what I'm reading currently right now. Leroy Bickerstaff is his burner Twitter account.
Yeah, that's fine. All of them got him.
Though he's been on, doing some crazy stuff, but anywho, here's
Aaron, can I speak real quick and you can do it to your week one? I just want to talk about the Giants right quick because I'm a football fan, so I don't just watch my Niners. I watch everybody, right? Barry, this is just something I would say to all Giants fans, right? Daniel Jones, we get it. He's looked horrible. He can't read defenses, XYZ. I watched a good bit of that game. The more concerning issue to me was we all watch Hard Knocks. What's his name? What's their GM name?
Joe Shane.
He made a conscious decision to do two things: upgrade the offensive line because he wanted to protect and get offensive line to protect Daniel Jones. I didn't see the offensive line improvement. I didn't see them run the ball.
I did.
It's slightly, but not
the pass protection was there.
Yeah.
A lot of the sacks that he took and the pressures he took was on him.
Yeah, it was on him.
It was on Daniel Jones holding the ball, not looking around and trying to go out the back door towards the rush. It was. You look at the he got the pressures. It was like 6 or 7 pressures or something like that. Everyone was self-inflicted. It was his fault. And I said that last year, Sirius. We were on the show together. I said, the Giants were getting sacked. but a lot of that was because he's holding the ball or he's not reading the defense. He's sitting there holding it, trying to process, and then walks into a sack. It's on him.
But
a lot of it's on him.
Say? But you know what I'm gonna say, and this was the second part that they tried to address. Daniel Jones don't play defense, and we just talked about a quarterback and being in the right system and gearing the offense to them.
Yeah,
dude, Sam Darnold was like 10 for 10, or then he went like
12, I think at one point.
12 for 12. All of the upgrades they did on that defense, dude. Daniel Jones don't play defense, and that would be the more concerning thing to me.
Yeah, as a whole, yes. The secondary looked bad. Outside of Banks, they just looked exposed. I think
the offense can't sustain anything, though.
Yeah, but here's the problem to LG's point, and I don't want to belabor this because this is like the shittiest game. I don't want to talk about this game anymore. A 99-yard drive.
Yeah, and like Sam Darnold was literally throwing darts because he had, and it wasn't all to JJ. Like he was having everybody coming open. I think that was more the concerning issue for me when I looked at the Giants was that, you guys put all this money into the defense too, and the thing was, remember they said, contend with our front seven. Where was the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, you brought back Isaiah Simmons because you thought he was a fit and he was your nickel guy, didn't play a lick. You had McFadden, who was your second linebacker, who had a pretty good year last year, didn't play.
Brian Burns, you gave him all that money.
Didn't show up.
Yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau, where were you? I think he got benched in the second half.
That's more concerning to me.
That is a problem.
Because you could even with the bad quarterback play, you could play just like the Steelers. You could play great defense, muck up the game, and it wouldn't have been that bad. They made a steal.
But the fact they only gave up 28 points playing like that is it's concerning. But it could have been a lot worse. But better quarterback play keeps you in the game. Like they had 2 field goals. One should have been a touchdown. That fumble recovery, you're deep in their zone. You only settle for a field goal. You had a touchdown. You threw a pick in the end zone. That's 17 points right there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm gonna stop it right there.
Nah, man, man, don't be having no burner account over here, man.
I'm not even doing that. I'm not even doing that, man. Look, here's the thing, man. Week 1 for me, it was about 2 things. Obviously, I wanted to see how the Steelers played, but the Ravens are in trouble. I believe the Ravens.
So? The offensive line, right?
That offensive line is going to get Lamar Jackson killed. Yeah. And so I understand that the Chiefs have one hell of a defense.
Chris Jones is a beast.
Right. But
he dominates
Lamar Jackson led the team in rushing. You got to spend all this money on Derrick Henry, and you barely give him the football.
They got to figure out how they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Right. I like the acquisition or the emergence, if you will, of Isaiah Likely for them. Just taking a snapshot of my division. Cleveland, they're in trouble. I don't care what you say. As long as you got Deshaun Watson playing like this, you're in trouble. You had the
Joe
Cowboys
Flacco's going to get a call soon.
And that's what may save them.
I don't think it's going to save them because even Tom Brady kept calling out in the game. Nobody's open. Well, and that's the thing. Amari Cooper couldn't get separation. Jerry Jeudy couldn't get separation.
You're supposed to have two good receivers, and they couldn't get. Neighbors had about almost 4 yards of separation per play.
Right.
Yeah, but that's play calling, and like I say, even Tom Brady kept calling it out. He was like, "The where's the play calling at? Nobody's getting open. Where's the plays at?" Tom Brady kept calling out. And Tom Brady said, "I was just saying, but but the Browns are in trouble. You're right. The Browns are in trouble.
I want to see what happens with Cincinnati. They always lose week 1. and then they decide to wake up, middle of September, early October. So I'm still taking a wait and see with them.
Yeah. Does Chase get his money serious? You think they're gonna
they have to pay that. They have to pay him. They have no choice but to pay him. Pay Dexman his money. Snapshot over the rest of the league. I think the Niners are who we thought they were. They're a tough out. I want to see what the heck happens with Philadelphia. Offensively, I think they're going to be able to run with anybody. Defensively, they're still struggling, in my honest opinion. Call me crazy. Green Bay was able to do pretty much whatever the hell they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's only by the grace of God that they got out of that stadium with the win. I think Buffalo is going as far as 17 takes them. I'm still not a fan of their receivers. Their defense is suspect. But hey, you got Josh Allen running around flying over the people like he's the white version of Cam Newton. So it works for now until you come up with somebody who can, do something. But NFL is back, man. I'm gonna get you guys out of here with this.
Real quick, two things. I want to say two things.
What up?
The 49ers gave everybody a blueprint on how to beat the Jets defense, even though the Jets defense is pretty damn good. They shoved it right down.
They ran at it. They ran
right down their throat. They needed Hassan Reddick. I don't think he would have made a difference, but the Niners looked good. They looked good as average.
I will say this though. Aaron Rodgers and his assortment of Green Bay Packer buddies that play for the Jets, they look old. They needed the timing and preseason, and it doesn't happen. To Breaking News' point, coming out this week and the next month and some change, they do got some layups there, but let's keep it a whole bean. Aaron Rodgers is 40. He ain't moving like he used to. And I don't like Garrett Wilson with number 5. Go back to 17. These number changes annoy me. Your boy Debo went from 19 to 1.
Yeah,
stop with these number changes, man.
Messing up the money. But you know what? And I do. You know what? The Rams and Lions game was really good. Those are two teams that are going to the playoffs. The Rams, that offense, they will do it to death. They scheme it, man. Sean McVay is one of the most greatest play callers we have in today's game. And even without Puka Nacua, you still got the former Triple Crown one over there dogging and catching 20 balls a game. Cup is back. I think Stafford, that offense, he's so comfortable in that offense now. He can command it. I love watching it. And guess what? The Lions, they're gonna be right there.
Dude, Chandler talked all that crap to me, but McVay is off of the Shanahan tree. And I told him, look at how many people are off that Shanahan tree in the league that are winning. And I get it. They may not win the big game, which is hard to knock KC off this pedestal right now, but they're winning. And I'll go this way with you, Aaron. I hope Brandon Ayuk has had a little bit of humble pie, because all summer, me and Aaron been going back and forth with him about it, right? You see the numbers of what everybody else is getting paid. The initial offer was a fair offer. He even came out and said, okay, I made it harder on them, right? Yeah. But you can't, I ain't gonna say he shit the bed, but he left a streak. You cannot. You cannot do all
stains
that.
in his drawers right now. He got some boo-boo stains in his drawers.
Yeah. When you don't play in the preseason, this is what happened. And
you're not a top 5 receiver, dude.
I'm not gonna. No, I would say he's a top 10, but he's not a top 5. But I'll go even further. This is where I get a little bit more. I'm not going to get on my 49ers high horse because I don't care about September. That game would have been much worse if we had CMC or if Ayuk would have played in the preseason. He dropped a touchdown, and he dropped at least three first downs. He dropped. He dropped. And you could tell he was rusty. He was real rusty. And You know, like I said, you know, you can't. You. It's almost like Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, you want your money. He's been practicing in, hold out in, or whatever. Jamar Chase shit the bed. Jamar Chase had like, he's on my fantasy team. That dude had like 1 catch for 5 yards. You can't do that, bro. You just can't. And I think he's gonna get his money. You got to remember, he literally begged Joe Burrow's neighbor to buy his house. They like BFFs, bro. I think he's gonna get his money, but you can't be 1 for 5 and, you know, talking about you want your money either. Nah.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, man. Larry, give me a plug in the close out and shut it down, my man.
Man, you know, we already about 30 minutes over. I'm gonna just keep it short and simple, man. I appreciate y'all fellas, man. We had a good show today. Welcome Breaking News back. Hopefully we'll get Coach back in the building. He's probably on the recruiting trail right now. He's probably you know, securing some additional NIL funding or something.
That's right.
And you know, we got to get Chandler back in the building too, man, so we can go on some more dump buttons or something, you know, or something like that. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna wrap it up, man. I'm gonna say, man, it's been a pleasure.
All right, big dog, man. Larry, thanks for coming by, kicking with us, big dog, man. Villain, you know what to do, man. Give me a plug in the close out and shut it down, homie.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate Breaking News showing back and coming back to the show. Appreciate Larry. He's always fun to do a show with. We'll see Coach getting off the trail. Shout out to Unk. I have my confidence picks. I'll send it over as soon as I possibly can. But you know, we got a lot of big things cooking. Hey man, it's football season, but basketball's coming, and I got a surprise for you. Got a surprise for you. Got preview the Knicks, baby. That Knicks tape, baby. So we doing it. So yeah, I got
Villanova Knicks, man.
Yeah, I got fires in you know, cooking right now.
Log in the fires. That's what's up.
Right.
Let me get you out of here, man. That's good, man. That's good, man. Peace, man. Thanks for coming through, back dog. Man, it's your boy Serious repping now 412 and the 703, man. Such a pleasure doing this show every week, man. Shout out to everybody for holding it down. I am on location right now, so I'm not even at my own studio at the crib, man. You see the thing behind me. I'm not even at home, man, but I love doing this so much. I was able to do this with you guys tonight, man. As I always say, man, if you see the show, share the show, man. We're all over the place, man. Looking forward to bringing you guys new content right here on the Executive's View. With that being said, Steelers are 1-0, man. Your boy Sites. Peace.